So good evening all of you, welcome back to the session. So just confirm the audio and video. Thank you all. So just confirm the audio and video. It's fine. Good evening everyone. Yeah, just confirm. It's good, right? Okay, great. So let us start again. XCA mathematics for XC. Like you know, काफी बच्चे सोचता है कि like XC maths थोड़ा सा tough है. Okay, tough नहीं है, to be honest. The kind of questions that come are not very straightforward. That's all. Okay, it's not tough, but at the same time it's not very easy also. But you have to think a bit. ठीक है? जब मैं question solve करता हूँ, आपको भी वैसा idea आएगा. So again, if you just look at the schedule, we have done with this session. We have done with this session. So now again we have XCA maths. Okay. So again we'll solve PYQs and जहाँ आपको डाउट आते हैं उस टाइम पे मैं कॉन्सेप्ट भी क्लियर कर सकता हूँ. ठीक है. सो बट प्लीज आस्क मी, क्योंकि जब मैं PYQ सॉल्व करने की फ्लो में होता हूँ तो उस टाइम पे इतना नहीं सोचता हूँ कि कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर है नहीं बच्चों का. सो इफ यू हैव एनी डाउट सो प्लीज आस्क मी, आई विल गिव यू इन डिटेल. ठीक है. देन so this is the complete schedule and this is the Telegram channel. Like if some of you want to have any doubts, there are already some good number of people there. They keep discussing all the stuff, and meanwhile even if they have any issues I would interfere and I would clear their doubts. So definitely this is a Telegram channel where you can get some any important guidance from me if you want. Okay. And obviously like these are the Abhyas sessions. Again, like similarly we have a couple of Abhyas sessions for maths as well, and of course fluid by me and Sandeep sir, and solid mechanics by Apurv sir and Ramanan sir, and thermodynamics by Shivam sir and Vinod sir actually. Okay. So without any delay, so ठीक है start करेंगे पहले maths question. So first question 2022 में आया था एक question 2022, लेकिन एक ही मार्क का आया. So let's solve this. Solution: limit x tends to 0, 1 by x into integral 2 to 2 plus x t plus root of t square plus 5 dt. Come on, solve this question. So this gives you 0 by 0 form. So गेट इंजीनियरिंग गेट मैकेनिकल में जो मैथ्स हैं, इज इट सफिशिएंट फॉर गेट एक्सी आल्सो? एक्चुअली नहीं, क्योंकि एक्सी में थोड़ा सा एक्स्ट्रा टॉपिक्स भी है जो जिसके क्वेश्चंस में अभी पीवाईक्यूज की 3 सेशंस हैं, इस सेशंस में कवर कर सकता हूं. ठीक है. सॉम क्लास शेड्यूल मैंने दिखाया ना, तो यू कैन सी पीवाईक्यूज का सेशंस होगा लाइक 7th 8th and 9th of February. Apurv sir and Ramanan sir will take this. Similarly अभ्यास सेशंस होगा 10th and 11th में. ओके, चलिए. So let us solve this question. So if you solve this question, so first of all अगर आपने 0 सब्स्टिट्यूट किया तो पहले इस इंटीग्रल का लिमिट्स होगा 2 to 2. Okay, so 2 to 2 obviously if x is equal to 0. So if you integrate any function between the same limits, then definitely you would get 0. Okay, so which means if you write this integration as limit x tends to 0, this divided by x. Okay, something like this. So normally thought ये होता है कि like when you integrate you will get a function of x here, and here also you'll have x, and when you put x is equal to 0, this is the integration between same limits like a to a, so that would definitely be 0. Denominator is also 0 actually. Clear? So this gives you 0 by 0 form. Now if this is 0 by 0, तो limits में अगर मान लो कि 0 by 0 आया, then what do you do? How do you get out of that 0 by 0 situation? There's one beautiful technique to get out of 0 by 0. L'Hospital, correct? So चलो L'Hospital rule apply करेंगे. Since limit is 0, we apply L'Hospital rule. L'Hospital rule. ठीक है. So चले let's differentiate this. So this implies L is equal to, ठीक है. So L is equal to limit x tends to 0. Now how to differentiate the function actually? Okay, so सबको Leibniz Newton rule पता है ना? So if you see, I'll just give you some brief about Newton Leibniz rule. Newton Leibniz rule. Normally I use this even boundary layers and all when you teach fluid mechanics, but it's okay. So right now if you can see Newton Leibniz rule. Like if you have, I'm writing only the half part of it. Okay, dou by dou x or d by dx of integral some function, say f of x to g of x, say some function phi of x dx. Okay, so let's say you have these things, or phi of t dt, for example, some variable phi of t dt. Okay, then the integration of this differentiation would be same as like this: phi of instead of this t, since this is the upper limit for t, phi of g of x, it's a composite function. Okay, so composite function क्या होता है? मान लो कि f of x is x, for example, like I'll just show you. Let f of x is equal to x square. Okay, g of x is equal to 2x, say something like this, and phi of x is, or phi of t is equal to t square, for example. Okay, so this implies phi of f of x is equal to f of x whole square, and f of x का value है x square, so total value is x power 4. That's how you call this a composite function. ठीक है? Now when you integrate this, sorry, when you differentiate this, you have phi of this upper value into g dash of x into g dash of x minus phi of f of x into f dash of x. This is what you would get actually. Okay, like for example, I just will show you an example. In d by dx of, let's say, d by dx of integral x square to 2x, so t square dt, for example, then this becomes 2x whole square into derivative of 2x with respect to x is 2 minus lower limit, so x square whole square into the derivative of this x square is 2x, so पूरा कितना होगा? 4x power 4, sorry, 4x square minus 2x power 5. This is what you get. Okay, even you can try, अगर आपने t cube by 3 के integration, then substitute the values, then differentiate, finally you'll get the same thing. Okay, but this is the simple Newton-Leibniz technique when you have a function of single variables. Okay, I'm not writing the full Newton-Leibniz, whatever is necessary I'm writing that. Okay, conceptually let's stay to what all things we need. Okay, so now if you differentiate this, let's see, so definitely जहाँ जगह पे t होगा वहाँ 2 plus x आएगा, so 2 plus x plus root of 2 plus x whole square plus 5 into, so this is the upper limit value, into derivative of 2 plus x with respect to x 1 minus, when you put 2 you'll get some number, into derivative of 2 is 0, so the second term is going to be 0. yes or no? सबको समझ में आया या नहीं बताओ? If you substitute upper limit, then you have 2 plus x, this is what you get, and when you put 2, then the derivative of 2, since this is a constant function, the derivative of that constant function will be 0, so second term would go to 0. Clear? Is this okay to all of you? Everyone? Sagar, Somideep? Okay? So this term would be 0 because this is a constant limit, so derivative of the constant would become 0. That's why you have the second function to be 0 divided by, then the derivative of this x is 1, that's all. So now if you substitute limit, okay, if you directly substitute x equal to 0, 2 plus, this is root of 2 square plus 5, so 4 plus 5 is 9, so root 9 is 3, so this value is 5, that's all. So L value is 5. If you know the Newton-Leibniz rule and L hospital obviously, then this question can be solved in 2 lines, that's why it's a 1 mark question, simple question. Okay? Now did you all understand? If integrals go to 0 and if limits go to 0 by 0 form, please teach this subject English. Okay, it's a math subject basically, like simple fundamental maths. Okay, so this L is actually 5. Okay, is this clear to all of you? सबको समझ में आया कि 5 कैसे आया? Yes or no? Something man, respond. मुझे पता है कि सी नॉर्मली जब हम फ्लूइड मैकेनिक्स या थर्मोडायनेमिक्स और कुछ नॉर्मली जब टेक्निकल सब्जेक्ट्स कर सकते हैं उस टाइम पे हम एवरीडे टच में आते हैं सब्जेक्ट से. ओके, बट लेकिन मैथ्स मेनी पीपल डोंट टेक इट वेरी सीरियसली, लेकिन मैथ्स है कि सबसे ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट सब्जेक्ट है. ठीक है, आपने फ्लूइड मैकेनिक्स किया था, थर्मोडायनेमिक्स किया था और कुछ किया था, ये सॉलिड मैकेनिक्स किया था, हर एक जगह पे मैथ्स का एप्लीकेशन होता है. ठीक है, मान लो कि आपके पास एक डिफरेंशियल इक्वेशन है. ओके, सो डी स्क्वायर वाई बाई डी एक्स स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू माइनस एम एक्स बाई ई आई. ओके, for example, this is a differential equation and ये है कि function of x. So after forming this equation आपको पता चलना है कि इस differential equation को कैसे solve करना है, नहीं तो deflections नहीं मिलेगा. Correct? So it's always important to form the equations and it's always important to equally important to solve the equations also. ठीक है? So इसलिए maths काफी लोग बोलते हैं कि maths non technical है. So I'm not telling this because I teach maths. Okay, if anyone would have taught maths, I would have taught the same. I would have told the same thing. Like maths non technical नहीं है. ठीक है, इसलिए एप्टीट्यूड का सिलेबस गेट सिलेबस शीट में नहीं मिलेगा आपको, आपकी ब्रांच की सिलेबस शीट में, लेकिन मैथ्स का सिलेबस मिलेगा पक्का. ठीक है, सो दैट्स वाई यू शुड ऑलवेज टेक मैथ्स एज वन ऑफ द इंपॉर्टेंट टूल. अगर मैथ्स नहीं है तो मेनी टाइम्स, लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल यू डू कॉन्ट्राफ्लेक्शन, यू डू एनी बीम्स. ओके, विदाउट सॉल्विंग दिस डिफ्लेक्शन इक्वेशन यू वोंट बी एबल टू डू एनीथिंग. ओके, आपके पास मैट्रिसेस है, जब आप कॉम्प्लेक्स टेस्ट करते हैं उस टाइम पे कुछ नहीं होगा. So there is a lot of importance. Fine. So anyway, so this answer is 5. चलो next question पे जाएंगे. This is Newton Leibniz rule. Okay. अगर नहीं पता है तो इसको याद रखना. चलो second question. Let f of x be a continuous function on the real line such that for any x 2020 का question है ये, XE में 1 mark का question है. So let's solve this. Given integral 0 to x square f of t dt is equal to x square into 1 plus x square. ठीक है. Then f of 2 is dash. f of 2 का वैल्यू कितना है, इसको कैलकुलेट करना कि f of 2 कैसे कैलकुलेट करना है. So let's see. In fluid mechanics also divergence, curl, yeah of course कहीं भी जगह पे मैथ्स होता है भाई. Then let's see. So how would you differentiate this? First of all हमको चाहिए कि f of 2, correct, and this integration involves integral 0 to x square f of t. काफी लोग इस क्वेश्चन को देखने में सोचता है कि f of x का फंक्शन क्या होता है, उस फंक्शन को कैलकुलेट करना पड़ेगा. सच दिस इज व्हाट मेनी ऑफ यू थिंक, इज इट? मान लो कि मैंने एक थोड़ा सा रिलेशन दिया था और एक जगह पे फंक्शन का वैल्यू मांगा हमें f of 2. So whenever you see f of 2, many people think that okay, if I want to calculate f of 2, मुझे f of x पता चलना है, otherwise I cannot calculate. Okay, but there can be techniques where you can calculate functions at a specific values without actually calculating the full function. Okay, this is one such question. So if you differentiate both sides with respect to x, differentiating both sides with respect to x, ठीक है. So this gives you d by dx of integral 0 to x square f of t dt is equal to, differentiate this also, first function into derivative of second plus second function into derivative of the first. ठीक है. अब इसको differentiate कर लीजिए. We know the Newton's Leibniz rule. So if you differentiate f of x square into derivative of x square is 2x, बस इतना ही आएगा. Because minus f of 0 into derivative of 0 is 0, that will be 0, is equal to, अगर आपने एक 2x कॉमन लिया तो इस दोनों जगह पे you will have 1 plus x square plus 1 plus x square, so 1 plus 2x square. This is what you would get. ठीक है. So let's cancel 2x क्योंकि x 0 नहीं है, there is no way we are calculating x is equal to 0. So this gives you f of x square is equal to 1 plus 2x square. Correct? इतना तो पता चल गया हमको. Now let's see, f of x पता नहीं है लेकिन f of x square पता है. So if you put x square is equal to 2 in both sides, this implies f of 2 is equal to 1 plus 4 5. ठीक है. That's all. So f of 2 is 5 again. Got it? Yes. काफी टाइम लोग सोचते हैं कि लाइक इसको डिफरेंशिएट करना पड़ेगा, लाइक डिफरेंशियल इक्वेशन फॉर्म हो जाएगा, सॉल्व करना पड़ेगा. जरूरत नहीं. गॉट इट? डिड यू ऑल एंजॉय दिस क्वेश्चन? जब मैंने 2 सब्स्टिट्यूट किया था काफी, कितने लोगों को ये क्वेश्चन काफी अच्छा लगा? टाइप इन द चैट बॉक्स. हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू फेल्ट वेरी हैप्पी दैट व्हेन आई सब्स्टिट्यूटेड x स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू 2? क्योंकि यहां तक आने के बाद लोग सोचता है कि f of x क्या होगा. यस, राइट में 2 into 2 है तो 8 होगा ना. कहाँ? अरे 2 into 2 4 है ना. 2 into 2 8 नहीं है भाई, 4. दैट इज एक्स स्क्वायर. एक्स स्क्वायर इज 2. एक्स का वैल्यू 2 नहीं है. ठीक है, एक्स स्क्वायर का वैल्यू है 2. चलो लेट्स मूव टू नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. दिस इज कॉम्प्लेक्स फंक्शंस. ये भी 2022 में आया. सो let C belongs to all complex numbers z equal to x plus iy where x and y are real numbers and I is equal to square root of -1. So ठीक है, C is basically a complex set. Be the set of complex numbers, of course. Let the function f of z. So given f of z is equal to u of x comma y plus I into v of x comma y actually, okay, and z is equal to x plus iy belongs to this complex set. Be analytic in this complete complex plane. So this function f of z is analytic function. ठीक है. Okay, analytic function. Sorry, I'm an all-rounder. Thanks. So let's see. U, v values are given. ठीक है. So u of x comma y is equal to x y cube minus y x cube. ये तो ठीक है. Then v of x comma y is equal to v का function क्या दिया, x power 4 by 4 plus y पावर 4/4 माइनस 3/2 एक्स स्क्वायर वाई स्क्वायर, ठीक है, ये भी 1 मार्क क्वेश्चन है, आसानी। तो माइनस 3/2 एक्स स्क्वायर वाई स्क्वायर। इफ एफ डैश ऑफ जेड डिनोट्स द डेरिवेटिव ऑफ एफ ऑफ जेड, देन मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ एफ डैश ऑफ -1 प्लस आई होल स्क्वायर इज व्हाट्स द वैल्यू। ओके, सो लेट्स सी। नॉर्मली इफ यू हैव एफ ऑफ जेड इज इक्वल टू यू प्लस आई वी, एक्स के साथ पार्शियल डिफरेंशिएशन करेंगे, ठीक है। सो एफ डैश ऑफ जेड इंटू डो जेड बाई डो एक्स इज इक्वल टू डो यू बाई डो एक्स प्लस आई इंटू डो वी बाई डो एक्स, ठीक है। लेकिन अगर z इज इक्वल टू एक्स प्लस आई वाई है तो बताइए कि डो जेड बाई डो एक्स कितना होगा, इसका वैल्यू कितना आएगा। आई है कि कांस्टेंट एंड y इज अनदर वेरिएबल, ठीक है। सो अगर इस z को x के साथ पार्शियल डिफरेंशिएट किया तो इसका वैल्यू कितना आएगा। डो जेड बाई डो एक्स का वैल्यू कितना आएगा 1, करेक्ट। इसका मतलब यह है कि if you when you are trying to differentiate partially either if or integrate partially whatever, if it is with respect to z or if it is with respect to x, कोई फर्क ही नहीं है, okay, so you'll get the same things। so this value is 1, ठीक है। so let's see, therefore f dash of z is equal to dou u by dou x, u पता चल गया हमको। so if you differentiate this, y cube minus differentiation of this term is y into 3x square, so 3x square y, ठीक है, प्लस आई इंटू वी कितना होगा डो वी बाई डो एक्स, सो वी भी पता चल गया हमको। सो डिफरेंशिएशन ऑफ दिस 4x क्यूब बाई 4 कैंसिल होगा, you'll get an x क्यूब, ठीक है, प्लस डेरिवेटिव ऑफ दिस टर्म विथ रेस्पेक्ट टू x 0, डेरिवेटिव ऑफ दिस इज माइनस 3/2 y स्क्वायर इंटू 2x, सो माइनस 3 y स्क्वायर x, सो माइनस 3 y स्क्वायर x ये आएगा, करेक्ट। So this is what you get. Now let's see, this is f dash of z actually. So if z is equal to at z is equal to -1 plus i का वैल्यू चाहिए हमको, ठीक है, at -1 plus i, इसका मतलब यह है कि x is equal to -1, y is equal to 1. So f dash of -1 plus i is equal to, so अगर आपने y की जगह पे +1 और x की जगह पे -1 सब्स्टिट्यूट किया तो y क्यूब is 1 minus 3 times of -1 whole square into 1, so this is going to be -3, okay, plus I into x cube -1 whole cube -1 minus 3 y square x, so this is -1. These numbers calculations you should do very carefully, okay, नहीं तो दिक्कत होगा। plus I into 3 minus 1 is 2 of course, so you can see this is minus 2 plus I into 2, this would be the value, correct. They mentioned up to CR equation, so is it clear to leave integration part in complex calculus? Yes, complex integration मतलब like if you see till 2020 सिलेबस में था, बट लेकिन 2021 में जब IIT बॉम्बे ऑर्गेनाइज किया था गेट एग्जाम को, एक्सी का मैथ सिलेबस थोड़ा सा मॉडिफाई किया था, ठीक है। सो उस टाइम पे जो कॉम्प्लेक्स इंटीग्रेशन का सिलेबस है उसको हटा दिया। यू कैन फोकस ओनली अप टू द एनालिटिक फंक्शंस एंड द कॉची-रीमान इक्वेशंस, ठीक है, फाइन, इन एक्सी। चलो, सो now if you take the magnitude of this complex number, f dash of -1 plus I whole square is root of -2 whole square plus 2 square whole square, ठीक है, because here you have square, okay, so you can see squares here, so this gives you 4 plus 4 is 8, so therefore mod f dash of -1 plus I whole square is equal to 8, yes. So that's the correct answer, ठीक है। So 8 which is in option C ये होगा सही आंसर, okay, just the Cauchy-Riemann equations. Now did you understand, जब नॉर्मली जब इंटीग्रेशन करने के लिए कोशिश करते हैं उस टाइम पे मिलने थॉमसन मेथड बोल के एक मेथड है, okay, normal in potential flows I teach you. When you apply मिलने थॉमसन method, you'll say replace x by z, replace y by 0, they come from these equations. When dou z by dou x is equal to 1, whether you are integrating or differentiating with respect to x or with respect to z, it doesn't matter because change in z is same as change in x actually, ठीक है, that's the reason. So 8 is the correct answer which you can see here, okay. So let's go to one more thing, it's a multiple integral 2013 1 mark question again. So let's see solution, integral I is equal to, let I is equal to integral 0 to 1 integral x square to x, ठीक है. So x by y into e power minus x square upon y dy dx, ठीक है. इसको सॉल्व करना पड़ेगा. Now if you want to solve this, so first can you understand this integral? So let's see, if this integration variable is y, okay, and this integration variable is x, okay, fine. Now the limits on the integral are functions of x. So these functions are limits of which variable? Can anyone tell me? If this is an integration symbol, you can swap this dx dy dx, doesn't matter, but the integration should be correct. So these are limits of y, correct? Yes or no? And obviously these are x limits. X is equal to 0 to x is equal to 1. इसका मतलब यह है कि जब inner integral का limits y का functions है, so the first integration we should perform is with respect to y. But performing integration with respect to y is not a very easy thing here. Okay, the reason, can you see e power minus 1 by y into some constant divided by y? Do you know this integration? Can you do this integration very easily? Come on, tell me. Can you perform this integration very easily? Yes or no? No? Why? Because I have asked the question, can we perform? So answer should be no. Correct, no? Priyanshu, Anurag, Manish. If you have a function like this, okay, then is it easy or difficult to do this integration? It's easy, you can do actually. So see, I is equal to integral x is equal to 0 to x is equal to 1. हम differentiation y के साथ, sorry, integration y के साथ कर रहे हैं. So let's take this x to be constant. Okay, so x into then integration of this function. So if you see integration e power minus of some constant minus 1 by y into this 1 by y dy is what you have, correct? Then if you see if you can take this full function, you should have a y square here, okay, but here you have only y, then it's difficult. Okay, sorry, it is difficult, sorry, in this case it's difficult, but here instead of y, if you have y square, then it would have been very easy to integrate directly. Okay, so when this integration is not very easy, what we do in multiple integrals is we do something called change of order of integration. Okay, so we do change of order of integration. See, Priyanshu, if there is y square, then it's a very easy integration. Okay, we'll adjust the minus sign here and we will figure it out, or no need of even adjusting minus sign. This integration is directly e power minus 1 by y. Okay, but there is no square in this term, so we should go for change of order of integration. Okay, ये diverging नहीं है भाई, there are options which are finite numbers. Okay, so since integral e power minus constant by y into 1 by y dy is not very easy, तो हम क्या करेंगे? We'll perform change of order of integration. We change order of integration. Okay, we change order of integration. I have involved this question क्योंकि काफी लोग जब order of integration change करते हैं ना, उस टाइम पे limits को change नहीं करते, ठीक है, and they don't know how to change these limits and people fall in trap. Okay, many times people see they'll just swap these two and start integrating. No, that doesn't matter. In fact, dx dy or dy dx is just your choice. In reality, this is just dA, that's all, some elemental area in reality. Okay, now if you see how to change the order of integration, what are the curves that are given? You should identify this. Okay, so x equal to 0 है, x equal to 1, y equal to x square, y equal to x. So these are the four functions which you have. So let me write them. X is equal to 0, x is equal to 1, y equal to x square, and y is equal to x. Correct, no? So these are the functions they have given you. So first plot these functions. Okay, you should plot these functions. इसका मतलब यह है कि जो functions उन्होंने दिया था उसका ग्राफ बनाने आना है, ठीक है. So we should know how to make graphs. X axis, y axis, sorry, minus y, y, x, minus x, ठीक है, and this is 0. Now x is equal to 0 is nothing but this y axis. Okay, x is equal to 1 ये होगा यहां लगभग, तो x is equal to 1. ठीक है. Now y is equal to x, इसको हम प्लॉट करेंगे. y is equal to x, so this is y is equal to x. So this point is 1, 1 obviously, क्योंकि इस लाइन में कहीं भी पॉइंट है x का वैल्यू 1 होगा. y is equal to x square, so y is equal to x square. So this is y is equal to x square. Now the region which is bounded is nothing but, यहां जो रीजन है इस y इक्वल टू एक्स स्क्वायर और y इक्वल टू x के बीच में जो जगह ट्रैप हुआ था वह है कि रिक्वायर्ड रीजन. ओके, यू मे सी सर दिस रीजन इज आल्सो ट्रैप्ड. व्हाई आर यू नॉट टेकिंग दिस रीजन? आई एम नॉट टेकिंग द बिलो रीजन बिकॉज दिस लाइन x axis which is y is equal to 0 is not given in this equations. Yes, y equal to 0 है यहाँ नहीं ना, so इसलिए even if this is getting trapped, we have drawn x and y axis just for the reference. They are not the functions in the given question. ठीक है, so that's why this integral minus x square by y into x by y dy dx, you can manipulate this integral like this. The function name is the same obviously, x by y. So first you have to change the order of integration. Okay, so previously in the actual integration you have to integrate with respect to y first. Okay, but now you have to integrate with respect to x first. Okay, so dx dy. Now tell me, if you want to integrate with respect to x first, the limits on this inner integration should be in our x limits, correct? And these x limits should be in functions of y. Okay, x limits should be in functions of y. How do you get them? Look, since you are starting with x, take a horizontal step inside this region. Okay, so take a horizontal step inside this region. Okay, take a horizontal step. Why I am taking horizontal step? Because my first variable of integration is x. Okay, that's why. Now this equation is same as x is equal to y, correct? And this is y is equal to x square, so x is equal to square root of y. Now in this confined region, you move this anywhere, the left lowest value of the step is always bounded by this line x is equal to y, and upper value of x is always bounded by x is equal to square root of y actually. Okay, so which means x is equal to y to x is equal to square root of y. And अभी y का लिमिट्स लिखना चाहिए. So y is going from a least value of 0 in this region to a maximum value of 1 again. So y is going from 0 to y is equal to 1. Now did you understand how to write the limits of integration when you change the order of integration? Got it? When you change the order of integration, now you see these limits and these limits are not same. Okay, did you all understand how to write the limits? It's just based on graphs, that's all, nothing very complicated stuff. Okay, now let's see if you integrate this. Now let's integrate with respect to x first. Okay, so if you integrate with respect to x first, first integration of this function, okay, 1 by y is constant, then this is e power minus 2x minus x square by y. So if you differentiate this with respect to x partially, you will get minus 2x by y. Okay, so we can do this something like this: e power minus x square by y into okay, let me do this. If you integrate this, you will get e power minus of this function divided by this value. Okay, derivative of e power minus x square by y partially with respect to x, ये क्या होगा? e power minus x square by y into minus 2x divided by y, ये आएगा, correct? So which means, yeah, I'm repeating, look here, if you have partial differentiation of x of this function would give you exponential differentiation is exponential into the derivative of this top part minus x square by y would be minus 2x by y actually, correct? Which means you can delete this minus 2, and if you bring it here minus 1 by 2, then this part whatever you have can be written as minus 1 by 2 times derivative of this function, correct? Yes or no? Whatever you have here, that you can write like this. Yes, everyone. Manish, Monica, Vishal. Of course, there are n number of names. I couldn't read all, but okay. So which means whatever is the function that's trapped here, you can write it as integral of x is equal to root y, sorry, y to x is equal to square root of y minus 1 by 2 times dou by dou x of e power minus x square y dx dy. Okay, so this is what you would get actually. Now once you have this minus 1 by 2 is just a constant, you can bring this fellow outside. So minus 1 by 2 integral y equal to 0 to y equal to 1, then you can see minus 1 by 2 I have taken out, integration of differentiation dou by dou x of one function dx. Okay, so this gives you e power minus x square by y with the x limits being y to root y dy actually here. Okay, so this is dy. So if you see minus half into y equal to 0 to y equal to 1. Okay, now when you put this value of root y, like if x is equal to square root of y, this becomes y by y, so e power minus 1 minus, when you put y here, this is e power minus y. Okay, so e power minus y dy. Now it's a single variable integration, you can perform the integration. Okay, see, conceptually there are a lot of things to talk, but if you know these concepts, you need to write hardly 2-3 steps. Okay, 1, 2, 3 and 4 maybe. Okay, got it? It's not as lengthy as I'm teaching you, it's taking time because I'm teaching each and every point, but if you know all these points, solving this integration from here to here will take hardly 1.5 minutes. Yes? Yes or no? Okay, so sequence and series is also included in XC syllabus, but we haven't studied in it. Will you please tell me? Yeah, we'll cover, no issues. Okay, maybe in tomorrow's class we'll finish sequence and series. Okay, so if you integrate this minus half into, now if you integrate this, e power minus 1 integration is e power minus 1 into y, so 1 minus 0 is 1, that's all, minus integration of e power minus y is e power minus y by minus 1 within the limits 0 to 1. So this gives you minus half into e power minus 1 minus of minus, this becomes plus, so plus e power minus 1 minus e power 0 is 1 actually here. So if you simplify this, this would become 2 e power minus 1, maybe I'll, okay, so you can see if you simplify that function, I'll simplify maybe here, so minus half into 2 e power minus 1 minus 1, so that's all, minus half into 2 by e, so 2 minus e by e, so e minus 2 by 2e, that's all, so e minus 2 by 2e, option D is the correct answer. Okay guys, see, I'll tell you what are the extra topics. I need not see, I have written XC 4 times already. Okay, and I have already get 4 in that, so don't worry, I know the syllabus and I'll teach you each and every part of the syllabus. Okay, sequence and series you'll find excess. Okay, in complex numbers you'll find a relaxation that you won't have complex integrations. Okay, then you'll have in differential equations eigenvalue problems and also the series solutions. Okay, so these things are excess. In PDEs you have to look at the solutions more effectively, like the wave equation solution, heat equation solution, these things. Okay, then probability and statistics. Okay, again in numerical methods you'll have interpolation, of course, which we have questions we'll solve today in interpolation, and we'll also talk about the Cayley-Hamilton theorem and also the diagonalization concepts, which are not in mechanical. Okay, we have the questions of mechanical, so we'll do this. And in vector calculus also you don't have the Stokes and Gauss divergence theorems. Okay, because there is no surface and volume integrals concept there. The syllabus is in vector calculus is only up to Green's theorem. Yeah. Okay, line integrals, closed line integrals. Okay, so these are the topics where you will feel difference between mechanical and XC. Okay, I have seen the syllabus almost some 100 times till now, so don't worry, I know what all you have access, and we'll solve questions which involves all these things. Okay, अभी तक मैंने सिर्फ 3-4 questions solve किया था, but out of these 3-4 many of you might have learned many points, correct? So that's how we'll go ahead. ठीक है, so चलो e minus 2 by 2e, that's the value after simplification. Okay, चलो let's solve this 2022 XE1. if the partial differential equation x plus 2 dou square u by dou x square plus 2 times of x plus y dou u by dou square u by dou x dou y plus 2 times of y minus 1 u by y minus 3y square dou u by dou y is equal to 0 is parabolic. So this partial differential equation is parabolic in nature on this circle. Okay, notes milenge XC syllabus ki sir. I'll try to update. Okay, sorry, to upload, but I need to talk to people again. Okay, yeah. So let's see, given PDE. So given PDE is x plus 2 dou square u by dou x square plus 2 times of x plus y dou square u by dou x dou y plus 2 times of y minus 1 dou square u by dou y square minus 3y square dou u by dou y is equal to 0. Okay, so this is a PDE. Okay, in fact, yeah, of course they are there for mechanical but not for XE. Okay, so no issues. So let's see, in this case we have this partial differential equation. Now it's given on a particular domain, means on a particular set of points, like whatever the circle they have given you, some circle. On this circle, the point, this equation behaves parabolic. You know what it physically means actually. Normally in fluid mechanics and all, if you do CFD, you will come to know parabolic equations. Like for example, the way the heat equation. In such cases, if you create any small change in the domain, the disturbance travels at infinite speed. Okay, that's the thing that you feel. Okay, in parabolic, if you give any small disturbance, then immediately it moves in reality. Okay, mathematically we design that, but physically it takes some time. That's what you call transient heat transfer. Okay, so anyway, or any transient flow, whatever. So whatever, right now if you look at this equation, in general it's a linear differential equation. Okay, sorry, it's non-linear. You have y into dou square u by dou, no, sorry, it's linear equation. Yeah, you don't have u into dou multiplication. So in general, the linear PDE of second order is a into uxx plus b into uxy or uyx plus c times uyy plus dux plus euy is plus f into u is equal to some function g. Okay, so this is the general static or the standard form of a second order linear PDE if a, b, c, d, e, f, g all are functions of only x comma y. Okay, where a, b, c until g are functions of x comma y. Okay, are some functions of x comma y actually here, and depending on these coefficients a, b, c, the combination of a, b, c actually decides the solution, the nature of the solution to this DE actually. Okay, and I'm just giving you the points, outline points, not explaining the physics behind it. For if you call this as equation 1, okay, you call this equation 1 for example. So for in equation 1, if b square minus 4ac is less than 0, then this equation is called elliptic equation. Okay, if b square minus 4ac is equal to 0, you call it parabolic, and if b square minus 4ac, this determinant plays a very crucial role, okay, is greater than 0, this is the hyperbolic equations. Okay, so this we call it as a hyperbolic equations, of course. Okay, then if you, why these things are coming right now I cannot explain you, to be honest, because it takes a bit time. Okay, there is something called characteristics. Okay, like whenever you have variables, you define them in terms of characteristics. Actually, x can be function of eta comma zeta, y can be function of eta comma zeta. Okay, then there are something called canonical forms and all. If you go into depths of maths, there are things. Let's not worry about those things. Okay, so here if you see, in this case, in this question, this equation has to be parabolic, correct? So we should identify this domain, means a, b, r values where this equation is parabolic. So b square, so 4 times x plus y whole square. Okay, because 2 times of x plus y whole square, so b square, minus 4 times a into c. C is 2 times of y minus 1, so 2 times of y minus 1, this should be equal to 0, correct? So if this equation has to be parabolic, then 4 times of x plus y whole square minus 4 times of x plus 2 into 2 times of y minus 1 has to be 0, of course. Okay, so let's cancel 1 4. Anyway, that doesn't play any role. If you expand this equation, x square plus y square plus 2xy minus 2 times of x plus 2 into y minus 1 is equal to 0. So if you solve this, x square plus y square plus 2xy minus, when you multiply this, first term is xy, there is 2, so 2xy. Okay, so because in a circle equation you don't have any xy term, so xy terms by default get cancelled. Okay, then x into minus 1, this is minus x into minus 2, so plus 2x. Okay, then 2y minus 2, so minus 4y minus 2 into minus 2, so plus 4 is equal to 0, of course. This equation, if you want to convert into circle, we can do this by this means. You have a 2x and x square, so there will be definitely x plus 1 whole square term. You have a y square and minus 4y, so y minus 2 whole square term. So this is this y square minus 4y plus 4. You bring this 4 minus 4y, this y square, okay, to this value, then x square plus 2x plus 1, which means on right hand side you should put 1 1 to balance this equation. Just a constant, just get this. Okay, so there is a domain, this is a circle basically. Okay, you can see x minus h whole square plus y minus k whole square form, so this is a circle. So along this domain in this physics, you create any disturbance that travels through this disturbance at a infinite speed. Okay, so this is circle. So then if you compare with the given values, x minus a whole square plus y minus b whole square is equal to r square. So this a value is minus 1, b is 2, r value is 1. So look for this set actually. So minus 1 2 1, a is 1 wrong, minus 1 2 1, b is correct, c is wrong again, minus 2 is not the case, minus 2 is not the case. Yeah, so b should be the correct answer in this case. Okay, so basically in these kind of questions you should make note of this points what I have given you. Okay, fine. Parabolic on circle means normally if there is some streamline, for example, okay, so there is a streamline like this, psi is equal to constant. You create any small fluctuation at this point that travels and comes back here at infinite speed. Okay, that's the physical meaning in reality. Parabolic PDEs and hyperbolic PDEs, you have the infinite speeds of propagation, whereas elliptic has some finite speed of propagation, which you see in waves generally. Okay, like for example, if there is a fluid, okay, then if the flow is such that if I just splash some fluid here, this complete domain feels disturbance immediately. Okay, that's the case. Okay, it's fine. So yeah, that's the correct answer. Basically option B is the actual answer in this case. Okay, then let's go to the next question. Again 2021 complex limit. Okay, so let's solve this. 2021 में आया था ये question, अच्छा question है. Given say L is equal to limit z tends to e power I pi by 3 z cube plus 1 by z power 4 plus z square plus 1 actually here. Okay, and you know this is a complex number, e power I pi by 3 is cos pi by 3 plus I sin pi by 3. So if you do and check all the stuff, you will get the limit value. Okay, so let's see. First of all, many of you, even if you open the syllabus, you can see De Moivre's theorem. This tells you for all n belongs to z plus cis or z, okay, it can be integer, that's all. All n belongs to z, cis theta whole power n is same as cis n theta. You'll have a unique value. Okay, which cis theta is nothing but e power I theta. Cos theta plus I sin theta is written as cis theta in maths normally. So this cis theta is basically e power I theta. So e power I theta whole power n gives you e power I n theta, but this happens only when n is integer. Okay, if n is fraction, then you'll have multiple roots of that equation. Okay, so let's see. So this implies L is equal to e power I pi by 3 whole cube plus 1 by e power I pi by 3 whole power 4 e power I pi by 3 whole square plus 1 actually here. Okay, so the story is not yet done. So you can see e power. So as per this logic, you can see 3 gets cancelled. This is e power I pi plus 1 by this is e power I 4 pi by 3 plus e power I 2 pi by 3 plus 1. Okay, now if you observe the values, this is minus 1, so which means the numerator is 0 and denominator is also 0 actually. Okay, because e power I 4 pi by 3 is nothing but cos 4 pi by 3. Okay, so cos 4 pi by 3 is nothing but minus cos pi by 3 minus 1 by 2 plus I into sin 4 pi by 3. So 4 pi by 3 is again in the third quadrant, so this again gives you minus plus I into minus root 3 by 2. Okay, this is what you get. Similarly, e power I 2 pi by 3, this gives you minus half plus I into plus root 3 by 2. So when you add these two, this imaginary parts gets cancelled, and here you have minus half and here you have minus half, that gets cancelled with this or this plus 1. Okay, that's how the denominator fully is 0. So this is again giving you a 0 by 0 form. Got it? Many times people feel that putting the limits in this complex number and calculating the value itself is big. Okay, but you see in this question they have mentioned it in such a way that you end up with 0 by 0. And for people who don't know this De Moivre's theorem, if you go with manual calculation, then it takes all the at least some 10-15 minutes for you to get the answer. Okay, now once you got 0 by 0, good technique. So how do you move forward? Okay, apply L'Hospital rule. Since L equals 0 by 0, we apply L'Hospital rule, of course. Okay, so therefore L is equal to limit z tends to e power I pi by 3. Okay, e power I pi by 3. If you differentiate this, derivative of this function with respect to z is 3z square. That's all. So 3z square by derivative of this is 4z cube plus derivative of z square 2z. So since z is not 0, you can cancel. Z tends to e power I pi by 3. Now 3 times of z, so 3 times of z का वैल्यू कितना है? e power I pi by 3 का वैल्यू cos pi by 3, so cos 60 plus I into sin 60 by 4 into z square. So again z square can be written as e power I 2 pi by 3, correct? Because e power I pi by 3 whole square. So this is equal to cos 2 pi by 3 plus I into sin 2 pi by 3. So this is the value. So 4 times of minus half plus I into root 3 by 2 plus 2 is what you have. So then you simplify this 2 and this minus 1 by 2 into 4, which is minus 2, gets cancelled. Okay, so if these things gets cancelled, L is equal to, if you take this 2 common, 3 by 2 times of 1 plus I root 3 by, you have I root 3 by 2, sorry 2 times I root 3, because this 4 is also there here. So 2 times I root 3 actually here. Okay, so then ultimately you'll see this root 3 cancel this root 3 by 2 times. So if you multiply this, okay, L is equal to 1 by I can be written as minus I, correct? Because if you send this I, minus I square is 1, so 1 by I can be written as minus I. So when you multiply this, root 3 by 2 into 1 by 2 I gives you minus I times of root 3 by 4 plus, when you multiply this I and I gets cancelled, so 3 by 4 is what you get. So this is the actual limit in this case. If you miss any I at any point, you will end up with the wrong options. You can see the options are like this. Okay. Come on guys, type in the chat box. Is this question okay? So if you see 3 by 4 minus I into root 3 by 4. So 3 by 4 minus I into root 3 by 4. B is the correct answer. Okay. This is plus and this is minus. Double. See, after doing the full question, you have done some small minus sign thing here. So you should be careful. Okay. क्योंकि इतना मेहनत करने के बाद भी मार्क्स नहीं मिलेगा तो because of these silly mistakes. Okay. So don't, when these kind of questions come, you do it in a nice way. (58 to 65) I did silly mistake 6-7 questions due to panic. Should I move to PSU's exams? It's okay. See, I'll tell you one thing. First of all, in IITs nowadays almost all IITs are accepting XC score. Okay, so don't worry. First focus on XC and we will see what happened, because हर एक बंदा को उनका मार्क्स पता चलता है बस, ठीक है. Like for example, if you get examination, you'll know only your marks. Okay, like you don't know what others have done. Clear? So वो पता चलेगा कि जब रैंक आता है, ठीक है. एंड तब तक ये जो रेस्पॉन्स शीट आता है उस टाइम तक इंतजार कीजिए. ओके, तब सारी जगह पे रैंक प्रेडिक्टर्स ये वो आएगा. यू विल अंडरस्टैंड समथिंग. चलो, so anyway, this is the correct answer. It's okay. 3 by 4 minus I into root 3 by 4. Okay, is this okay to all of you? Did you all understand this De Moivre's theorem and how to simplify the complex numbers? Because if you make this, for example, if you write this as 1 by 2 plus I root 3 by 2 whole cube, and if you start this question using a cube plus b cube plus 3ab plus a plus b, you know it will take ages for you to solve. Okay, is this clear or no? Please type in the chat box ना, confirm कीजिए थोड़ा सा. ऑनलाइन क्लास है भाई, ऑफलाइन नहीं है शक्ल देखने का. Chat box got stuck or what? Moving, thank God. Done. Okay, so चलो, let's move forward. So let's see, this is a line integral simple question, 2022 में आया था, 1 मार्क के लिए. Solution. Let gamma be the positively oriented circle x square plus y square is equal to 9 in the xy plane. ठीक है, so you have a xy plane of course, and gamma is this positively oriented, means anti-clockwise generally. Okay, then in the xy plane, the integral over this gamma 3y plus e power x sin x dx plus 7x plus root of e power y plus 2 dy is equal to alpha pi is what you have. Okay, so the value of alpha. So let's see, it will take ages. Yeah, of course. So let's see, in this case the path is closed. Okay, you can see the path is closed, and here you have only 2 variables involved, so we can apply Gain's theorem directly. Okay, so by Gain's theorem, integral over c m dx plus n dy is equal to integral over this region R. Like if this is the curve C, for example, and if this is the region which is bounded by this curve, for example. Okay, so integral over the region R, dou n by dou x minus dou m by dou y dx dy or dA, or dx dy, let's say it for the fun. Okay, so this is what you have. Okay, so first you can go for this dou n by dou x. I always tell in thermodynamics also, whenever you talk about the exact point functions and all, so to remember this dou n by dou x, remember this word Netflix. Okay, so that you know n and x come together always. Okay, dou n by dou x. Okay, so in this case, over this gamma 3y plus e power x sin x dx plus 7x plus root of e power y plus 2 dy. So this is equal to integral over this region R, which is the circle, dou n by dou x. So dou n by dou x is this 7 minus, because this is completely a function of y, it doesn't matter, okay, minus dou m by dou y. So this function doesn't matter, it's only 3 dx dy. So 4 times integral over some area or some region dx dy. So can someone tell me what does this give you? ये क्या होता? Integration over the region dx dy is nothing but dA. So double integral dA is what do you get here? Area of the circle, correct? So basically this is, in this case, pi by 4, or sorry, pi r square. So pi times r square. Radius कितना दिया था? R is 3, so r square is 9. So 4 into 9, 36 pi. So इसका वैल्यू होगा 36. Okay, clear? Normally in maths you can use some techniques, okay, which I can maybe tell you. Normally if you have this integral over some region R, closed region, f of x comma y dx dy or dy dx depending on the limits what you write. So for let I is equal to this, okay, for f of x comma y is equal to 1, I gives area bounded, area of region R, okay. For f of x comma y is equal to x, do anyone know what does this I give you? Or do anyone of you know? If that function is x, then over some closed region or some plane region, because obviously plane we are dealing in 2D. So can someone tell me if that's x, what do you get as I? You will get area of R into x coordinate of centroid of R, okay. If x is x or y, similarly, or y coordinate, okay. Like many of you might have seen this, x bar is equal to integral x dA by integral dA, which is the area actually. So this gives you, that's all, okay, that's what you get. Similarly, if this is x square, moment of inertia, if that function is x square plus y square, you'll get polar moment of inertia. There are a lot of stuff, okay, which you can just do the integrations, that's all. That will help you out, okay. Chalo, next move to, let's go to this question. It's a nice question again. Just a second guys, कुछ तो गड़बड़ हो है. Yeah, we marked the answer, no? 36. Okay, good. So let's solve this question. 2 marks की question है 2022 में. Solution: let f from 0 to infinity to L field be the continuous function such that, so given so this is the mapping that's given, be the continuous function such that f of x is equal to 2 plus g of x by x, okay, and g of x is equal to integral 1 to x f of t dt for all t greater than 0, whatever, okay. So then they want you for all x greater than 0, sorry, for all x greater than 0, then f of 2 is what you want. So how do you calculate f of 2 actually, okay. So let's see. F of x is equal to 2 plus integral 1 to x f of t dt by x, of course, correct. This is the function you have. So to calculate f of t, let's do one thing. Let us differentiate this function, okay. Leibniz theorem maybe, yeah, of course, we can go. So if you see Leibniz theorem, if you apply Leibniz rule, differentiating both sides with respect to x, okay, so differentiating both sides with respect to x actually. So this gives you f of x, f dash of x actually is equal to, so it is like u by v form. So first functions x into derivative of this part. So what would be derivative of this part? F of x into derivative of x is 1 and derivative of this 1 is 0. So you have this part, okay. F dash of x is equal to x into f of x minus integral 1 to x f of x f of t dt into derivative of this x is 1 divided by x square. So this full function divided by x square, okay. So this is what you would get actually. Yes, type in the chat box. Is this okay to all of you? Everyone, type in the chat box. You need f of 2 value, okay. Something is not there here or everything is there? 0 to infinity. So 2022 में आया था f of x is equal to 2 plus g of x by x so divided by x. So if you differentiate this with respect to x on both sides, f dash of x is equal to x into f of x into 1 by x square minus integral 1 to x f of t dt, okay. Something is missing I think in this question, give some boundary condition or something, or it's there. So okay, chalo, let's see. That's one condition, but f of 2 is what you want. So we have a first order differential equation, yeah, okay, first order differential equation, some function of x, f of x is equal to 2 plus integral 1 to x f of t dt by x, okay. So if you differentiate this, f dash of x is equal to first function into derivative of the second minus second function into derivative of the first by x square, okay. Let's see, let us start from here. F dash of x is equal to x square f dash of x square f dash of x is equal to x into f of x minus x into f of x minus integral 1 to x f of t dt, right. This is what you got, yeah. 2 ln x plus c type, yeah, of course. See, let's figure it out what can be done. This is the first order differential equation, correct. Let us do some small markup here, okay. See, instead of going it this way, let us slightly modify it before differentiating. It would be easy, life becomes easy then. Instead of keeping this function like this and differentiating, let's follow a technique. X into f of x minus 2 is equal to integral 1 to x f of t dt. This is much better, okay, because you bring the 2 here and if you multiply x, then it could be little easy, okay, it makes sense. So now if you differentiating on both sides, with respect to x, okay. So this gives you first function into derivative of second plus second function into derivative of first function, which is this one, is equal to differentiation of this is f of x, okay. Then it's very easy now, okay. So see what can be done. X into f dash of x is equal to f of x plus f of x minus 2 is equal to f of x, okay. So f dash of x is equal to 2 upon x is what you have. Okay, so f of x is equal to 2 divided by x, that's the function. So you can get f of x. So what does f of x gives you? 2 ln x plus constant. So f of x is equal to 2 ln x plus constant. That's the function we need of, obviously. Okay, and now to get this arbitrary constant c, you need one value, but in the question they haven't given any value. Yes, first of all tell me, confirm me, yahan tak sabko clear hai ya nahi? See, because if you slightly send this and manipulate this equation, it's very easy to differentiate rather than keeping all the terms on one side. Yes, it's okay, clear? Is it clear to all of you till this point? यहां तक सबको क्लियर है या नहीं? टाइप कीजिए चैट बॉक्स में. नाउ यू नीड वन, सर RHS डिफरेंशिएशन ऑफ x into f of x. F of x into derivative of this x is 1, no? So f of x into 1, of course. Okay, then you need boundary condition definitely to get this c, but how do you get? You have boundary condition given f of 1 is equal to 2. Okay, who told me that? I'm assuming. Okay, I have this Divya Drishti, so I closed my eyes and seeing. Okay, I can see f of 1 is 2, which means this value is 2. So this gives you f of 2 is equal to 2 plus 2 ln 2 or 2 plus ln 4. That's all. F of 2 is what they're asking now. So 2 plus ln 4 is the answer. Okay, f of 1 is 2 because you know f of x is equal to 2 plus integral 1 to x f of t dt by x. Correct? This is the equation, the actual given equation. G of x is this part. Okay, g of x is this by x. Now if you put x is equal to 1, the limits will go from 1 to 1 and this limit will go to 0. Sorry, this integration will go to 0 because you are integrating between same limits then. Understood? If you put x is equal to 1 completely in this equation, f of 1 is equal to 2 plus integral 1 to 1 f of t dt. So integration of 1 to 1 f of t dt is 0, denominator is non-zero, it's 1. So 0 by 1 is 0, 0 plus 2 is 2. So f of 1 value is 2. That's how I got this. Clear? All of you, how I know this boundary condition? Yes, I have expected so much of clapping and fire symbol, but nothing is there. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, I'd never look for those things. As long as you understand, that's the ultimate aim. Okay, if you understand, it's good. लेकिन किसी को doubt है तो please you ask me. I'll explain again and again until majority of us, at least 99% of us, understand. Okay. Yeah, I can repeat. Sidhu, Akash, Sidhu. See here. This is the given equation. Okay, because this is g of x function. You can see g of x is integral 1 to x f of t dt. I have slightly manipulated the terms such that I get the same equation in this form. Now I have differentiated and I found a first order differential equation when I differentiate and simplified this. Okay, so if this is 2 by x, then definitely 2 ln x plus constant. Then if you want f of 2 value, because in the question they're asking f of 2, you should know what is this constant. Okay, so this constant to evaluate, we need one boundary condition. So in this equation I have put x equal to 1 on both sides. Okay, so if I put x equal to 1, 1 into f of 1 minus 2 is equal to 0. So f of 1 should be 2. Okay, that's how I figured out this boundary conditions. Okay, so once you know that f of 1 is 2, then in this case if you put x equal to 1, f of 1 is equal to 2 ln 1 plus c, and so f of 1 is 2, so 2 is equal to 0 plus 2. So f of 1 is 2. So c value is 2 actually. Okay, this should be same as c, because if you put x equal to 1 in this solution, this term will go to 0. So f of 1 should be c. So this answer is 2 plus log 4 to the base e. What is this? Something which is not needed, I think. We'll delete this slide. Okay. So tell me, it's already 1 hour. We have started 1 hour 10 minutes. Good. So any common things that you want me to ask? ठीक है, काफी fluid mechanics है, thermodynamics, maths, we have done all this stuff. Okay, anything apart from this things you want me to ask, or you want to ask me? Sorry, you want to ask me? ऐसे मत बोले कि साहब मैं मछली का करी बना रहा हूँ, कितना नमक डालना है उसमें, वो मत पूछना मुझसे, ठीक है? So how to be good in maths? Just keep solving and keep maths as a hobby. Okay, like once in 2-3 days I do maths at some point. So just keep it as a hobby. So जब आपकी mathematical knowledge technical subjects में use करते हैं उस time पे you'll keep in touch with all the maths. That's all. Come on, nothing to ask, only questions. Why so boring audience here? Okay, you're happy with fluid mechanics and maths and thermodynamics. How do you get such ideas like the previous boundary condition? Experience, that's all, to be frank. Like for example, if you see, I'll tell you, like when you apply Newton-Leibniz rule, okay, you'll come to know what is Newton-Leibniz rule is. Okay, when you apply L'Hospital rule, you'll come to know. Okay, when you apply this kind of boundary conditions, you'll know how to think. Okay, so just put all your experiences together. So yeah, that's the thing. Thanks, Akash. So let's see this Wronskian story in differential equations. This is the Euler-Cauchy equation. Let y1 of x and y2 of x be two linearly independent solutions of this equation. So this is the Euler-Cauchy equation. X square d square y by dx square minus 2x dy by dx plus 2y is equal to 0 actually. So let Wronskian of y1 comma y2 denote the w of y1 comma y2 denote the Wronskian. If w of y1 comma y2 of 1 is equal to 1, then w of y1 comma y2 of 2 is equal to dash. That's what. भाई प्रेशर लेने की जरूरत ही नहीं है, ठीक है? So again I'll tell you with all due respect on GATE exam, I'll tell you GATE is a very powerful exam, but GATE is not the only exam, ठीक है? So you'll see after your GATE exam, in fact I still remember last year जब GATE के बाद विजय बैच लॉन्च हुआ था, मैंने like people are depressed because obviously हर एक बंदा ऐसा सोचता है कि इस बार मैं GATE 4 के PSUs या IITs में एंटर होता हूँ, ठीक है? लेकिन कभी कभी नहीं हो जाएगा. So then many of them are very like depressed at that point of time, ठीक है? Then they came to Vijay batch, okay, and they are very sad at times. Okay, I told clearly by focus Arna, because there are a lot of PSUs which recruit without GATE examination also. So preparation is always a process, okay? When you start it, it takes hardly like 6 to 7 months of solid time, solid efforts, so that after 6-7 months you keep cracking any PSU that you apply, okay? And I told him normally Vijay batch validity is like around 10 months or 11 months, you can see. I told them like within next 8-9 months, half of the people who are in this batch will already get placed. And all over this year, I kept on getting the messages like, sir, I got this, I got that, I got placed in NTPC, I got placed in some other PSU. So these things happen. It's not like if your GATE exam is bad, it's not like your life came to an end, okay? Nothing like that. It's just a one exam, okay? And वो फेमस कोट होता है ना, सिंगल पेपर कांट डिसाइड माई लाइफ, ठीक है? उसको उतना सी मतलब you cannot take it very light, but at the same time it's not also very tough, okay? So don't worry about these things. तो सिली मिस्टेक्स बहुत हो रहा है, प्रैक्टिस करो पे थी, बिकॉज ना सिली मिस्टेक्स जब होता है कि तब दिमाग में प्रेशर आता है, ठीक है? सो डोंट लुक एट don't think of anything else when you sit in the exam. Before going to the exam, at least some 2-3 days, keep writing some questions and all. So try to be in touch with the content, okay, so that you'll do better. Right. Chalo, let's see. So the Euler-Cauchy equation. So in Euler-Cauchy equations, what you do, let x is equal to e power z. So this translation will give x d by dx as d where d is with respect to dy dz. Okay, and x square d square by dx square is going to be d into d minus 1, and so on. This loop continues. Okay, it's very easy to show all this stuff. Okay, very easy in fact. So how to attempt the questions in XC from your experience, sir? I'll tell you. Okay, maybe in tomorrow's class I'll tell you. लेकिन नहीं तो आज काफी ज़्यादा philosophy हो जाएगा. Fine. So if you see, if you substitute in these equations, so d into d minus 1 minus 2 times of d plus 2 operating on y is equal to 0. So ये आएगा d square minus 3d plus 2 operating on y is equal to 0. So y is equal to C. Okay, let me write one more step. So auxiliary equation is m square minus 3m plus 2 is equal to 0. So definitely y is going to be c1 e power z plus c2 e power 2z actually. Okay, so this is the solution of this differential equation, correct? So आपको पता है कि auxiliary equation हो गया m square minus 3m plus 2 equal to 0. So solutions are m equal to 1 comma 2. So y is equal to c1 e power z plus c2 e power 2z actually. Okay, then this is nothing but your x, I mean your x in the sense the x involved in the question, and this is x square. ठीक है, so c1x plus c2 x square. So these are the functions now. Okay, so these are the two linearly independent solutions. What are the linearly independent solutions? You see, you put c1 equal to 0 and c2 equal to 1, then y equal to x square is the solution of the given dE. Similarly, if you put c1 equal to 1 and c2 is equal to 0, then also you would get the solution of the differential equation. Okay, so then therefore Wronskian y1 comma y2 is equal to, let's say for example, x comma x square. Okay, x comma x square. So Wronskian of y1 comma y2 at 1 is equal to 1. Okay, so Wronskian of y1 y2 is nothing but y1 y2 y1 dash y2 dash actually here. Okay, एग्जाम में इतना मत सोचना कि y1 यहाँ आएगा y1 dash यहाँ आएगा, नहीं तो if y1 y1 dash जो भी कर लो आंसर सही आएगा, क्योंकि डिटरमिनेंट ऑफ ए मैट्रिक्स इज सेम एज इट्स ट्रांसपोज. ठीक है, क्योंकि मैंने बहुत सारे इंटेलिजेंट people like me, they'll keep thinking in exam hall, okay, whether I should put y1 dash here or here. You put anywhere, it's the same. So then if you take y1 as x, x1 x square 2x, okay, so Wronskian at 1 comma 1 is equal to, so 1 1 1 2 which is 1, which is the same case which is given here. Why people have given that condition is to make you fix some things. अगर मैंने इस फंक्शन का चॉइस y1 comma y2 is equal to x square comma x, there is nothing harm in taking that. Okay, so these are the two linearly independent functions. So I would have taken x square comma x. So if I take this as x square comma x, this answer would have been -1, correct? Because if I swap these two columns, determinant changes its sign, -1, correct? So that's why to make you fix and to make you fix on y1 as x and y2 as x square, they have given this condition. Okay, otherwise you'll get two answers. Got it? Like if I'm calculating omega of w of y1 comma y2 at 2, so this function becomes 2 4 1 4 again. So this is 8 minus 4 4 aayega. So if I make the choice ulta, okay, then these things swap and this answer would be -4. Okay, but in NATs they want you to have only one answer, so that's why to make the choice decided, they have given this boundary condition to check. Okay, so that's how this Wronskian value is 4. Clear to all of you? ठीक है, एक्सी पे फोकस करो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं, एक्सी से काफी अच्छे ऑप्शन है. ठीक है, एमटेक करने के लिए. Okay, so is this question clear? Did you all understand the essence of this equation? If this equation is not there, then you can independently choose this as x comma x square or x square comma x. Then you can end up with 4 or -4. So fix your answer to 4. They have given this condition. Okay, so this is 4. So let's solve this some quadrature rule numerical methods again. If the quadrature rule -1 to 1 f of x dx is equal to f of alpha plus gamma times f of beta, where alpha, beta, gamma are real constants, is exact. So this quadrature rule is exact for all polynomials of degree less than or equal to 3. Okay, then the value of gamma plus 3 times of whatever. Okay, basically your aim is to get the values of alpha, beta and gamma, that's all. Okay, so let's see. Integral minus 1 to 1 f of x dx is equal to f of alpha plus gamma times f of beta. So since this is exact for all polynomials of order less than of degree less than or equal to 3, let us make one guess. Let f of x is equal to a0 plus a1x plus a2x square plus a3x cube. Okay, so this is a polynomial. So even if some of the terms are 0, then either it will be a polynomial at maximum of degree 3, or if some coefficients are 0, the order will be, the degree can be less. Like if a3 is 0, then it's a quadratic whatever. Okay, so if you put it here, integral minus 1 to 1 a0 plus a1x a2x square plus a3x cube dx is equal to f of alpha plus f of beta. I'll directly write the terms here. Okay, so let's see. F of alpha is going to be a0 plus gamma times f of beta, it is also going to be a0. So which means the first term is going to be a0 times 1 plus gamma actually. Okay, correct, plus f of alpha, so this term becomes a1 alpha plus gamma times of a1 beta. Okay, so a1, if you take common, a1 alpha plus gamma times a1 beta, so this is the coefficient of a1 actually, plus the coefficient of a2 is going to be alpha square plus gamma beta square plus a3 into alpha cube plus gamma beta cube. This is what you would get. Okay, and now in this case, you know, this is an odd function. This part is also an odd function because integration is from minus 1 to 1. So the part corresponding to this guy and this guy, they don't play any impact. Correct? Because yes, are you all getting what I am telling you? So if you take this integration of, like if you split this integral into 4 parts, okay, first integral, second integral, third integral and fourth integral, second and fourth integrals will go to 0 because you all know integral minus a to a f of x dx, this is 0 if this is an odd function. You know this. Because of that, this second integration values corresponding to the second term and the fourth term will go to zeros. Yes, so let's integrate the remaining stuff. Then you have a0 into 2, okay, a0 into 2 plus a2 by 3 into 2 again is equal to this complete term summation whatever you have. Okay, so let me stop here. So this will give you this integration. Now if you compare both sides, okay, we can understand a lot of stuff. So what you can understand, comparing the coefficients of a0 by 2. So on comparing, first compare the coefficient of a0. So if you compare the coefficient of a0, 2 is equal to 1 plus gamma. So gamma is equal to 1 in all the cases. Okay, so gamma is 1 definitely. So this gamma is 1. You don't have gamma anywhere. Next, so gamma is 1, you keep gamma is equal to 1 in all these places. So this is like alpha plus beta plus alpha square plus beta square plus alpha cube plus beta cube. Okay, then a1, you don't have any coefficient for a1. So alpha plus beta is equal to 0. So which implies beta is equal to minus alpha, which means this term goes to 0. There is nothing impact that can do. Okay, and if beta equal to minus alpha, this is just 6 times of alpha square plus 1. That's all. So let's figure out what is beta also. Alpha square plus beta square is equal to 2 by 3. Okay, but since beta is same as alpha or minus alpha, we have squares. 2 alpha square is equal to 2/3. So alpha square is equal to 1 by 3. So if alpha square is 1 by 3, then beta square is also 1 by 3, correct? Why? Because alpha is same as minus beta. So therefore 1 plus 3 times of alpha square plus beta square, 1 by 3 plus 1 by 3. So this complete value is 2 by 3. That's all. So 1 plus 3 times of 2 by 3 gives you 3. It's a 2 marks question, but a quadrature method basically. Okay, Did you understand this? Definitely, you know, alpha cube plus beta cube should be 0 because there is no a cube a3 term in this integration. Okay, it hardly takes 2-3 steps, but of course with a little bit of thought to understand. तो एक बार क्वेश्चन समझा दिए, जब f of x is a polynomial of degree less than or equal to 3, ये दोनों equal होगा. Okay, for any values of alpha beta. That's the question. Can we do by assuming f of x as linear equation? Yeah, you can do, but I don't think you'll get enough constants then in that case. Yeah, you can do definitely. Like if you take ax plus b, then you'll get b is equal to 2, so you'll get only one constant. At least it should be linear, quadratic. Okay, because you have two unknowns, so you can figure out them. Okay, at least it should be quadratic if you want to perfectly show the solution. Otherwise, just by trial and error, by putting alpha beta values of your choice, you can match the results. Okay, but that is like very probabilistic. You may not make a very perfect guess for that. There are three unknowns. Gamma is also not known. Okay, gamma, alpha, beta, three unknowns are there. So which means when you do this integration, you should know at least three terms: a0, a1, a2. So that's why it should be minimum quadratic. Okay, but anyway, this is a generalized procedure to solve this. Is it okay now to all, everyone? Urhan, yeah, Urhan, I hope it's okay now. ठीक है, ये दोनों equal होगा जब f of x is a polynomial of degree less than or equal to 3. Yes, so it is 3 actually. So let's go to one more question. Hello, let S is set of vectors, because matrix operated on a vector gives you a vector, such that for a and x, this set consists of all the vectors which when you multiply a and x. So if -1 alpha 1 belongs to this S, then what's the value of alpha? That's the question. Okay, 2021 XE 1 mark. Given clear? So this is the matrix. So if you see AX actually, so this is like a 3 by 2 and it's like 2 by 1. So 3 by 1 is the vector which you are going to get. So if you see 2x1 minus 4x2, then x1 minus x2, sorry, x1 plus x2, x1 minus x2 is what you have. So this is your vector which belongs to S actually. Okay, and this value is -1 alpha 1. Okay, so this vector belongs here. So if you simplify, you have 2x1 minus 4x2 is equal to -1 and x1 minus x2 is equal to 1. So you multiply 2 here in this case, so you'll see 2 and then subtract minus 2x2 is equal to -3. So x2 is equal to 3 by 2. So x2 equal to 3 by 2, then x1 minus x2 is equal to 1. So x1 is equal to 5 by 2. So these are the values. So x1 plus x2 is nothing but alpha, correct? So therefore alpha is equal to x1 plus x2, so which is 4, because 5 by 2 plus 3 by 2, 8 by 2 is 4. So 4 should be the correct answer in this case. Okay, a simple question based on the eigenvector concept. It's a very easy question. Okay, so just multiply a vector, the matrix with some vector, and if that vector should lie in this vector space, then definitely it's of the form -1 alpha 1. So we have equated these two elements, then got x1 x2, figured out what is alpha. Okay, alpha should be 4. A very straightforward question. Chalo, let's see this again. 2021 1 mark question based on some simple integration. Let f of x be a non-negative continuous function of real variable x. If the area under the curve, so f of x is non-negative continuous function for all x. Okay, if the area under the curve y equal to f of x from x equal to 0 to x equal to a is a square by 2 plus a sin a plus pi by 2 cos a minus pi by 2, then the value of f of pi by 2 is dash. That's the question actually. First time simple question you have taken. Good. Okay, but yeah, some questions are easy as well. Not some, many questions are easy. Some questions needs little thought. ठीक है? And आसान question solve करने में इतना फायदा नहीं होगा obviously, because like for example you take this question, majority of guys would be able to solve. Okay. So it's always important to solve some nice questions. जहाँ पे first idea पे strike नहीं होगा. ठीक है? So let's see. This is the case. Now the function is positive. So 0 to a. So let's say some function like this. Okay. So this is x is equal to 0 and let's say this is x is equal to a. So you have some area which is given by this expression. Okay. So let's see. Integral x is equal to 0 to x is equal to a, f of x dx is nothing but that area, correct? Like for example you have a PV diagram, then you have the pressure plot area. Okay, same thing. So you have this integral x is equal to 0 to x equal to a, f of x dx. It's given, this integration value is given as a square by 2 plus a by 2 sin a plus pi by 2 cos a minus pi by 2, correct? So let's see, by looking at this question, when I have written that year 2021 XE and my rank was 40 at that time when I have written that, 78 marks something I got. Anyway, forget about it, I don't remember. So a square by 2 plus a by 2 into sin a plus pi by 2 cos a minus pi by 2. Okay, now I have used a little technique to solve this question. Can I write, if you look at this function very carefully, can I write this value as x square by 2 plus x by 2 sin x plus pi by 2 cos x within the limits from x is equal to 0 to x is equal to a? Can I do this? Yes. A simple manipulation and adjustment, that's all. If you substitute these limits, you would end up with this. 2 okay. Can you all understand this? Can we manipulate it as this? Yes or no? Type in the chat box now. Yes, we can do. If you put a square by 2 plus a by 2 sin a plus pi by 2 cos a minus, if you put 0, 0, 0, pi by 2. That's all. Okay. Which means, you know something, integration of f of x dx is nothing but x square by 2 plus x by 2 sin x plus pi by 2 cos x. So then if this is the integration, what would be the function? You differentiate both sides, you will get the function. So function is, if you differentiate both sides, this integration of differentiation will go, f of x is what you will have. So derivative of this 2x by 2, you will have an x plus half into x cos x plus sin x, then this is minus pi by 2 sin x. Maybe this is going very nil, so minus pi by 2 sin x. Okay, so this is the function. So therefore let me write it a bit clearly, x plus half into x cos x plus sin x plus pi by 2 into minus sin x. That's all. Okay, so plus pi by 2 into minus sin x or minus pi by 2 into sin x, whatever. So if you want f of pi by 2 plus half pi by 2 cos pi by 2 plus sin pi by 2 minus pi by 2 sin pi by 2. So clearly sin pi by 2 is 1. So this minus pi by 2 and plus pi by 2 cancels. This cos pi by 2 is 0. So half into 1 is 0.5. Okay. To be frank, I'm telling you honestly, when I first seen this question, it took me 7 seconds or 8 seconds to figure out that this is this. When I looked at the expression like this. Okay, I still remember that day when I've seen this question for the first time. In fact, this was the first or second question in my paper that year. So it took me almost like 7-8 seconds to think from this is actually this. Then you differentiate, you'll get the answer. Okay, so 0.5. Okay, it's clear. I know many of you feel like some nice feel when you get tricked, you know, you laugh. When I have done this from here to here, I know some of you have laughed, some of you have smiled. I know this because when people do tricks in front of us, we smile. That's a common psychology. So anyway, I hope you have understood this. Okay, something is going into brain or everything is getting diverged. What if you use Leibniz rule differentiating with respect to a? You can use actually f of a into derivative of a is 0 then. Okay, a is not a variable. So if you use Leibniz rule, f of a into derivative of a is 0 minus f of 0 into derivative of 0 is again 0. So you'll end up with zeros on both the sides. And moreover, this side it's a constant. So 0 equal to 0. Identity. Okay, anonymous. See, that's what I'm doing. If you differentiate with respect to a, you'll end up with 0 is equal to, okay, with respect to a is what you're telling. Okay, then f of a is equal to, correct. Even then you'll get the answer. Yes. Then put a equal to pi by 2. You treat a as variable. Okay, that's what you're telling. Yeah, then you can do. If you don't take a as constant, but if you take a as variable, then you can do. Okay, but here this is given x is equal to a, then definitely it should be a. Okay, yeah, you can choose, no issues. 2. You can choose a is variable and then differentiate this, apply Leibniz, Newton-Leibniz to this with respect to a. Then you will end up with f of a is equal to some function in terms of a. Basically this function. You will get f of a is equal to a plus half times a cos a plus sin a plus pi by 2 into minus sin a. Then you put a is equal to pi by 2, of course. Okay. That's what we are telling now. Others, we can apply the Newton-Leibniz rule by treating a as a variable. Then you can get this. Okay. In fact, these are like little tricky questions. That's why I think 1 mark. Yeah, 1 mark question. Okay. Chalo. Let's move forward. 0.5, 0.555. Yeah. 2021 XC again. 1 mark question. Alpha x. Okay. If the numerical approximation of the value of the integral 0 to 4 2 power alpha x dx using trapezoidal rule with 2 subintervals is 9, then the value of the real constant alpha is dash. So let's see. We have the trapezoidal rule in the syllabus of XC. So two power alpha x dx. Okay, so you have 2 subintervals. So h is equal to 4 by 2, so which is 2. So step size is 2. So if you form x can take the values of 0, 2 and 4. So what would be f of x values? Then 2 power alpha x. Okay, so if you put x is equal to 0, this is 2 power 0, 1. When you put x is equal to 2, this is 2 power 2 alpha and this is 2 power 4 alpha. That's all. So this is the table that you will end up. Okay, so if you have the table, then from trapezoidal rule 9 is equal to, or by trapezoidal rule, let's write this. Integral 0 to 4 2 power alpha x dx is equal to, which is, if you apply the trapezoidal rule to this, okay, then you know, h by 2, which is like 2 by 2 into y naught plus yn. So 1 power 1 plus 2 power 4 alpha plus 2 times of rest all values. So 2 power 2 alpha actually. So this value is equal to 9. Okay, so 2 gets cancelled. This is 1. So 2 power 4 alpha plus 4 times, oh sorry, 2 times 2 power 2 alpha plus 1 is equal to 9, or if you take the 1 it is 8. So can someone suggest me how to solve this question? Can someone suggest? That's the equation. Okay, how to solve that equation? You need alpha. Okay, any hint that you can give me? I'm not able to think, so can someone give me some hint? Can you quickly explain trapezoidal rule? Yeah, put 2 power alpha x. Yes, what should I put? T. Okay, correct. So one thing you can do is, this is just nothing but 2 power 2 alpha plus 1 whole square is equal to 9. Okay, because a square, this is 2 power 2 alpha whole square plus 2 times of 2 power 2 alpha into 1 plus 1. So this LHS of this equation can be written like that, and you know this is positive definitely. So that's all. Okay, alpha is 1 by 2, 1 decimal place again, so 0.5. Fine. So basically this is a quadratic equation actually, or you can directly write this as this, which gives you alpha is equal to half. Trapezoidal rule, yeah, okay, fine. I'll explain. How many of you want trapezoidal rule? Just tell me quickly, because it's in the syllabus. So if you want, I can just go quickly for some 2-3 minutes or 3-4 minutes maybe. Yeah, okay, so there are people who want it. Yeah, okay, fine. Chalo, let's move quickly to the trapezoidal rule. We'll get it one. So first of all, why the name this trapezoidal rule is given? If you see, if you have a function integral a to b f of x dx, okay, like for generality I am taking it in the first quadrant. What does the trapezoidal rule tell you is, and why it's called trapezoidal rule, I'll tell you. See, first of all, you know, this integral using trapezoidal rule, you'll calculate it as h by 2 times y naught plus yn plus 2 times of y1 y2 blah blah till yn minus 1. Okay, this is the formula you'll be having. Okay, so if you look at this guy, this formula is not very like tough or something which you cannot see. It's very easy formula. If you have this function, okay, like this, so let's say this is y is equal to f of x, and you are integrating this function between these limits, x is equal to a, and this is x is equal to b, let's say. Okay, now if this is a, and if you take the step size as h, okay, then the next interval you take is somewhere here, which is a plus h. Okay, next is a plus 2h, and so on. Finally you will end up with b. See, h is equal to b minus a by n. Okay, so this ultimately tells you b is equal to a plus n times of h. So you reach a b, which is a plus n times of h. Okay, now if you see, if you call the value of this function as y naught, means this height means the function value at x equal to a is y naught, then this is y1, this is y2, and so on, this is yn. Finally you will end up with n steps actually. Okay, so yn. Now if you take the first integral, for example, okay, if you take the first, see, ultimately this gives you this total area under the curve. Okay, but at times when this function f of x is complicated, you cannot do the analytical integration very simply. Okay, like मान लो कि मैंने ऐसा कुछ function दिया था e power x ln x by sin square x, ऐसा कुछ दिया तो so analytical integration would be very tough. Then in such cases, if you know the function values at different points like y0, y1, y2, all these things are known. If you pick the first block y0, this gap is h, so let's say this is y1. Okay, and then you have some function like this. Okay, this part of the function which is connecting in between. Now what does a trapezoidal rule do is, if you have 2 points a, b here, for example, you will connect these 2 points with the help of a straight line. Okay, so you connect them with a straight line. You connect them with a straight line so that, see, in reality this area of the trapezium is not the actual area under this orange colored curve, but the difference is small. Good enough. Okay. So therefore, if you look at this trapezium area, let's call it for example A0. Okay. Then A1 and so on till an minus 1 if you have. Then this trapezium area A0 is half h into y0 plus y1, correct? Because it's the area of the trapezium, definitely. That's the area of the trapezium. So half into distance between the parallel sides into sum of the parallel sides. Similarly, when you go for A1, half h into y1 plus y2. A3 or A2, half h into y2 plus y3, and so on. If you go for an minus 1, finally the last, this is an minus 1 actually. So an minus 1, you'll get half h into yn minus 1 plus yn. Then the integration stops because you have reached already this point x is equal to b actually at that point. Okay. So let's say for the time being, something like this. Okay. So you see there's a small region between this orange curve and yellow curve which is not under simplification. So if you add all these up, this is the expression, because h by 2 is common in all the terms, which is here. This y0 and yn comes only once, because y0 comes in the first type and yn comes in the last type. Okay. So it comes only once. Rest all, y1 gets repeated, y2 gets repeated, y3 gets repeated. So likewise, each and every term which is not the extreme gets twice into the equation. So therefore you have a multiplication of 2 here. That's how. Okay. And this name is called trapezoidal rule because you approximate the area by a trapezium, and many of you might have studied this. The order of the fitting polynomial is 1 because we are fitting these points with a linear equation, which is a first order equation actually, or first degree equation. Clear? That's the trapezoidal rule outline. Order of fitting polynomial is this. You see, in trapezoidal rule, we say, many of you might have studied this. Order of fitting polynomial, order of fitting polynomial in trapezoidal rule is 1, correct? That's because you fit this curve as a straight line, which is a first order curve basically. Okay. In Simpson's 1/3, you'll go for a 2 by second order curve. You'll take 2 subintervals and you'll fix it with a parabola, and as you go for Simpson's 3/8, you'll go more complicated. You'll have a cubic fit. Okay. And nowadays you have MS Excel or MATLAB, you have a lot of stuff to do all these basic things. Okay. Did you all understand what is trapezoidal rule and why it's called trapezoidal? Whatever, what are the expressions you write, how all this stuff is coming, and when, if you increase the subintervals, okay, if the number of subintervals are increasing, this h becomes short and short. So as h becomes short and short, this orange curve and the yellow curve match almost. Okay. So that's the reason. If you increase the number of intervals or if you decrease the step size, your answer will be more accurate. That's all. I want to ask you, sorry. Okay. So I want to ask you one thing. In case if this function which is given actually is a linear function, like for example, I have asked you integral 0 to 4 9.81 x plus 0.287 dx. Okay. If I tell you evaluate this integral using trapezoidal rule with 10 subintervals, okay, you need not actually do the trapezoidal rule, you can actually do the normal analytical integration. Okay. Because when, if the function here is linear, then the approximated curve and the actual curve will perfectly match, and that's why the analytical solution and the numerical scheme result, whatever you get, will be exactly same, 100%. Got it? Because you are fitting with a linear polynomial, so any linear function or constant function, if you try to integrate using Simpson's 1/3 rule, that will give you the perfect exact answer. Got it? Similarly, in Simpson 1/3, the order of fitting polynomial is 2, so that's why quadratic functions or linear functions or constant functions, you'll get the same answer, exact answer. Okay. So how to approach questions like you do? Stunts performed by professionals, please do not imitate. Okay. No, I'm just kidding. But as you keep practicing, you'll get thoughts, Preeti. Like for example, see, the day I was born, I don't know what is this trapezoidal rule. Okay, but eventually when you keep learning things and when you keep practicing, when you teach, then things strike for you. Okay. And obviously you should follow some good references. Okay, like normally for in fact, if you ask me honestly, for teaching linear algebra, I follow this lectures of this MIT person, Gilbert Strang lectures. Okay, and we'll also look at like when you come to complex calculus, I'll go for Riemann lectures again. Okay, Riemann has dead by now, he's not no more, unfortunately. So when you go for numerical methods, there are a lot of books again, like for numerical solving system of algebraic equations. Like for example, in GATE we'll teach only something like Gauss elimination, Gauss Seidel, okay, these stuffs. But normally if you want to solve a 1000 by 1000 system, then these methods are not very efficient. Okay, so then we'll go for some other algorithms which can make this method simple, especially when you go for CFD, okay, and all. NPTEL is better, undoubtedly, why not? Chalo. Now I hope you all are happy that we have learned trapezoidal rule. So we'll order some pizza for ourselves today. Good. So then next question. So this. Let the transformation y of x is equal to e power x into v of x reduce the ODE, this ordinary differential equation, to some other ordinary differential equation. Then the arithmetic mean of alpha, beta and gamma. It's a 1 mark question, but I have given this question with a purpose. Okay, I know this question has some trick actually. Okay, see, given dE is x square y double dash plus 2 times of 1 minus x y dash plus x minus 2 times y is equal to 0. Okay, so this is the dE. Now if you apply this transformation, y is equal to e power x into v, then your equation is getting something like this. Okay, so let's see. So this implies y dash e power x into v dash plus v into e power x. So e power x into v plus v dash. Okay, similarly y double dash is equal to first function into derivative of the second plus second function into derivative of the first. So if you add these two, you'll get, okay. Now how do you figure out this equation? Just substitute this y dash and y double dash in this, okay, because in the final equation you don't have any y, which means all the y dash, y double dash has to be replaced. Okay, so if you put them back sorry, so therefore given dE implies x square into y double dash, which is this guy, v double dash plus 2v dash plus v e power x plus 2 times of 1 minus x. So 2v dash or 2y dash actually. So 2 e power x into v plus v dash minus 2x y dash. So minus 2x y dash. So v plus v dash plus x minus 2 into y. So x e power x v minus 2 e power x v is equal to 0. Okay, that's the full equation. Now let us aggregate the terms which are having only this coefficients. Okay, so first coefficient of d square v by dx square. So v double dash term, you have only one v double dash term which is here. So x square v double dash plus, next let us bother only about the v dash term. Okay, so v dash, here you have one v dash, 2x square v dash plus 2, oh sorry, I think there is also e power x here. Okay, so x square into, I think e power x can be cancelled in all the steps, e power x, e power x, e power x and e power x, e power x gets cancelled. Okay, so then x square into v double dash plus 2x square plus 2, then minus 2x, that's all, no more v dash. So this is v dash actually here. Something is missing, is it? Because it has beta, but you are getting some, this is 2x or 2x square, we should check carefully. Just check the calculation if we have done misdifferentiation anyway. Guys, let's check this. So y is equal to e power x into v. Okay, this is there. So first derivative is e power x v dash plus v, e power x v dash plus second function into derivative of the first function. So e power x into v plus v dash, that's okay. y double dash first function into derivative of second plus second function into derivative of the first. So v double dash plus 2v dash plus v operating on e power x. Okay, so then if you substitute in the given equation, this is x into d square by dx square, so you should have only 1x. Okay, you should have only 1x. So x into d square by dx square, which is this equation. So v double dash plus 2v dash plus v into e power x plus 2 minus 2x, so into y dash, so 2 times of y dash e power x into v plus v dash minus 2x into e power x into v plus v dash. Okay, plus x into e power x v minus 2 times of e power x v. Okay, now I think it would make some sense. So this term we should change now. So this term now becomes x into v double dash. Now if you add the coefficient of v dash, so 2x plus 2 minus 2x times v dash plus now v. Okay, so x, then here you have 2, then here you have minus 2x, here you have plus x minus 2 again is equal to 0 times v is equal to 0. So this equation and this equation should match now. Okay, yeah, x square की जगह x होना चाहिए, correct, x आएगा, yeah, 2, the y double dash coefficient should be x. Okay, that's what it has given here. So if you simplify this, x and 2x gets cancelled, 2 also gets cancelled, so there is no v coefficient, which means this gamma is 0. Okay, gamma is 0. So then 2x gets cancelled, so coefficient of v dash is 2, which means beta value is 1. Okay, because 2 beta is 2, so beta is 1. X into v double dash, so alpha is also 1 actually. So alpha is 1, beta is 1, gamma is 0. These are the things which you know from this. Okay, so therefore this is what you have, and you have seen what is the amount of hard work you have done in solving this question. Okay, so arithmetic mean of alpha, beta, gamma. Okay, till here you will do very carefully. Then arithmetic mean of alpha, beta, gamma, round off to 3 decimal places. If you round this off to 3 decimal places, what is the value you will get? All of you type in the chat box. If you round off 2 by 3 to 3 decimal places, what's the value you are going to get? Everyone. 0.667, correct? Yes na? 0.667 आएगा. Okay, and in that year the range given to this question was that's the range given. Understood? Which means if someone by chance put this as 0.67, gone. 0.67 is not in this range. Okay, so that's why rounding off is careful. Understood? I told you in fluid mechanics class that today in maths class I'll show you one question where rounding off is very important. This is the question. Okay, they have given a range from 0.665 to 0.669. So by chance if somebody has entered without looking at the rounding, and if someone has entered 0.67, after spending some 2-3 qualitative minutes or 4 minutes maybe to figure it out, you would still end up with the wrong answer. Okay, so you should be careful. Got it? It is 2 hours, so if you want to ask something, you can ask me. It's okay. Every 1 hour, some 2-3 minutes, we can get relaxed. Otherwise, if I keep teaching this hectic maths for 3 hours continuously, you will not be very happy. So you can ask me if you have something to ask. So nothing to ask. Good. So we can move forward. Yeah, fantastic question. 2021 XE 2 marks. Solution. People say no, matrices is easy. Where can you get the PDF? It's available in the link which is given in the description, or else I'll share you in the Telegram channel. Okay. In the beginning I have displayed one Telegram channel now, so I'll upload it there. So let's see. I denote identity matrix of order 7 by 7. So I 7 by 7. A is also a real matrix of order 7 by 7. Having characteristic polynomial. So characteristic polynomial of lambda square, lambda minus 1 power alpha, lambda plus 2 power beta, where alpha comma beta are positive integers obviously. So alpha beta are positive integers. Okay. A is diagonalizable, and so A is diagonalizable first of all. A is diagonalizable. Okay. And rank of A is equal to rank of 2A. Okay. Should also complete or just leave it? Complete. Okay. It's always better to have 100% of the syllabus in hand. Okay. Anyway, sequence and series questions I did not involve today. Maybe tomorrow I'll solve some 4-5 questions so that we all get clarity on this. Okay. So A is diagonalizable. See, many of you even today, I think some of you in my Telegram channel, they're discussing if eigenvalue is 0, then the matrix is not diagonalizable. Correct? Or you told that it should be non-singular for the matrix to be diagonalizable. Is it? Yes? How many of you think this? Tell honestly. If a matrix has to be diagonalizable, the matrix should be non-singular. Yes? Thanks, Nayanda. But the matrix need not be non-singular. Okay. Even if the matrix is singular, but if it has all eigenvectors linearly independent, then you can form the diagonalization for that matrix. Okay. Eigenvalue can be 0, no issue. Got it? Eigenvalue can be 0, eigenvalue can be repeating, but the main condition is if you have all distinct eigenvalues, okay, then definitely the matrix is diagonalizable. But for the matrix to be diagonalizable, this is not the constraint. Understood? The eigenvalues, the matrix can have 0 eigenvalues, and at the same time the matrix can even have the repeating eigenvalues. Got it? Even then, in that case, it's diagonalizable. Like for example, if you see this case, okay, if you see this case, then if you write the, for example, we'll see, okay, what are the eigenvalues of A? Let's get the values of alpha and beta first. So you will see, even when the matrix is having 0 eigenvalue, which means determinant is 0, so definitely it is singular. Still, it can be diagonalizable. Even if the eigenvalue is repeating, even then the matrix can be diagonalizable. Got it? So let's see. First of all, this is a 7 by 7 matrix. So if you generate this polynomial, what is the degree of this polynomial? The matrix is of 7 by 7 order. Okay. Then if you generate this polynomial, what is the degree of this polynomial? Inverse doesn't exist. That doesn't mean that diagonalization does not exist. No. Inverse and diagonalization both are different. Okay. We'll see. I'll show you. No issues. Yeah, mechanical students can give XE paper. So this polynomial should be 7, which means, can I say, since A is of order 7 by 7, if you sum up all the powers 2 plus alpha plus beta, this should also be 7, which means alpha plus beta should be 5. Correct now? Will you all agree with this? I'll do this question step by steps because it's a nice question and there are many concepts which come in this question. Okay. Fine. So alpha plus beta value has to be 5. Good. Fair so far. Then it's given rank of A is same as rank of A plus 2i, okay, which tells you can someone know the definition between rank and number of zero eigenvalues? Or any of you, do you know this point? Like rank of A is equal to A n by n, you can say rank of A n by n. If you take a square matrix, n minus algebraic multiplicity of 0, algebraic multiplicity of 0 eigenvalue, 0 eigenvalue. Do you know this? Number of non-zero eigenvalues is rank. Okay, good. So or else total size minus number of this number of times 0 coming as an eigenvalue. If you subtract that, you'll have rank. Okay, or else as you told, number of non-zero eigenvalues is rank. Okay, good. So from this definition, this is the characteristic polynomial. So if you equate this polynomial to 0, how many times you'll get 0 as a root? Can someone tell me? This is a 7th degree polynomial, okay, and if you equate this to 0, can someone tell me how many times I'll get 0 as a root of this equation? How many times I'll get 0? Twice, okay, because there is lambda square on this top, okay. So 2 times I'll get 0 as an eigenvalue, means the solution of this equation. So which means 7 minus 2, which is equal to 5, which means this rank of A is 5 actually, okay. So which tells you rank of A plus 2i is also 5. Correct. So if you look characteristic polynomial of A plus 2i, can someone tell me what would be the characteristic polynomial? First of all, if lambda 1, lambda 2 and so on, lambda 7 are eigenvalues of A, then eigenvalues of A plus 2i, okay, so A plus 2i would be nothing but lambda 1 plus 2, lambda 2 plus 2 and so on, lambda 7 plus 2 actually, right? That's the eigenvalue. So if you increase the matrix with 2i, then the eigenvalues will also increase by 2. Very straight properties in linear, all this. Okay. Then I want to ask you one thing. Do you know this? If for this matrix eigenvalues are increasing by 2, then the characteristic polynomial here is nothing but lambda minus 2 whole square into, here you have lambda square, so lambda minus 2, lambda minus 2 minus 1, so lambda minus 3 whole power alpha into lambda minus 2 plus 2, so lambda power beta. This is going to be the characteristic polynomial. Do you know this? Like I'll just tell you, if you have alpha, beta, gamma and so on as roots of some function f of x is equal to 0, then the function with roots alpha plus k, beta plus k and so on is nothing but f of x minus k is equal to 0. Do you know this rule? Some disturbance in mic. One minute. Okay, now it's okay. Come on guys, speak out. Is this okay? Fine now? Not fine. No, okay, good. Okay, so let's see. So what I was telling is, if you have a function for which if these are the roots, then the function for which the roots are added by plus k is f of x minus k is equal to 0. Like example, if you see, if you take the roots 1 comma 2, the function is x square minus 3x plus 2 equal to 0. You know this. Now if I add plus 1 to both this, and if I make the roots as 2 comma 3, this equation becomes x square minus 5x plus 6 is equal to 0. But the same equation can also be obtained by, since I have added plus 1 to the roots, if you write x minus 1 whole square minus 3 times of x minus 1 plus 2 is equal to 0, you will get exactly this equation. You can check. Okay. If you increase the roots by plus 1, then the function can be obtained by writing f of x minus k is equal to 0, where k is some constant. Got it? Yeah. So can we skip maths? My god, 15 marks straight away goes out. Okay. And अगर आपने मैकेनिकल के एग्जाम पे देखा तो like even in aptitude there are maths questions like probability, okay, some graph, some numbers, these kind of things come up. Okay. So that's why don't get afraid of looking at these questions. Okay. Every question can be solvable. The only thing you can do is in these 3 PYQ sessions and the 2 Maha Abhyas sessions, whatever we do, we will Abhyas sessions, whatever, we will figure out to learn maximum number of points which frequently come in XE exam. Okay. I'll make sure if you follow these 5 sessions correctly that you will get in touch with all the most frequently asked topics at least. Okay. And if that topics, like if the paper trend is normal and if those topics gets repeated, then obviously you can get some good marks in maths. Out of 15, maybe like 10, 12, up to that. Okay. Fine. Last 2 years I got like 2024 when I have written, I got 14 out of 15. One question I made mistake in the 1 mark questions. In 2023 also, I think 2 marks question I made mistake. So 13 out of 15. Okay. So don't worry, we can figure it a lot of times. So it would be a good thing really to know all these things. Okay. Fine. So shall I continue? So did you all get convinced how this characteristic polynomial of a plus 2i is going to be this? Okay. Is this clear to all of you or not? Yes. If you can understand this step, then it's very easy to solve the rest of the parts. Okay. So since rank of a plus 2i is equal to 5, this implies number of non-zero eigenvalues is equal to 5, which means this beta is going to be 2. Correct? Yes or no? Because 2 plus alpha should be 5. Okay, which means 2 plus alpha should be 5 and beta should be 2. So alpha should be 3. Yes. So therefore characteristic polynomial of lambda is lambda square into lambda minus 1 whole power alpha lambda plus 2 whole power beta. So this is the actual characteristic polynomial. Got it? Now see, since I'm explaining these points, is taking time. Otherwise if you write this, then your next step will be to write this. Okay. So let's see rank of a minus I. So rank of a minus I. So this implies characteristic polynomial of a minus I. So what are the eigenvalues of a minus I? Lambda minus 1, lambda 1 minus 1, lambda 2 minus 1 and all. So in this function, in place of lambda, I should replace lambda plus 1 actually. Okay. So lambda plus 1 whole square, lambda cube into lambda plus 3 whole square. So clearly you have 3 zero eigenvalues. So therefore rank of a minus I is 7 minus 3, which is 4. That's all. So 4 is the rank of this matrix. Now you see, if this is the characteristic polynomial of A, now if you calculate the eigenvalues, eigenvalues are 0 comma 0, 1 comma 1 comma 1, minus 2 comma minus 2. Eigenvalues are having 0 eigenvalue, then eigenvalues are repeating, still this matrix is diagonalizable. Okay, because the eigenvectors of this matrix is linearly independent. The condition for this linear independence is, normally how do you do the diagonalization? For a matrix A, Okay, A is equal to P inverse or D. You can see D is equal to P inverse. Sorry, hey, what happened to me? AP is equal to PD. So this gives you A is equal to PD P inverse. So yeah, PD P inverse. That's all. So this is the matrix. This is how you diagonalize. Okay. Now for this matrix to get in this form, D is the diagonal matrix. You know. Okay. So D is a diagonal matrix. For this to be diagonalizable, the only condition is this P inverse should exist. Okay. And P is the matrix formed by the eigenvectors actually. Like for example, corresponding to lambda 1, this P is nothing but eigenvector 1, eigenvector 2 and so on, n eigenvectors. Okay. The only thing is these things should be linearly dependent, which can happen even if there is 0 involved here or if there are repeating eigenvalues there. Okay. If all these are distinct, then all these are linearly independent. That's good. Okay. But if for this to be linearly independent, all these need not be distinct, or it's not like 0 should not lie inside. 0 can be there. Okay. So that's how we form this matrix. And why diagonalization? To calculate higher powers, to calculate eigenvalues, to calculate any powers of matrix. This is very useful. Okay. Like because you see, if you want to calculate A square, okay, this is just PD P inverse operating on PD P inverse. So this P inverse into P gives you I. So P D square P inverse, and D square is nothing but lambda 1 square, lambda 2 square and so on. So that's why diagonalization plays a very powerful role in any functions, calculation of any function of the matrix. Okay, fine. Like for example, you see this question, it has 2 0 eigenvalues, but still it is diagonalizable. Okay. For diagonalizable of the matrix, the rank should be full rank, need not be. Okay. Like you see, matrix is 7, but rank is only 5. Matrix is of size 7 by 7, but rank is only 5 actually in this case. Okay. So therefore, all these points plays a very good role in understanding the rank concept. Okay. Yes, no, understanding, no. So many points at once. Getting that particular logic for a particular specific problem. Like to be frank, first of all, honestly speaking, I know all these questions because I have solved all the XE PYQs first all actually in a book some time back. Okay, like we were trying to create a book some 3-4 years back. So at that time, I have given solutions to all these documents, but unfortunately that book got stopped because of some reasons. So first thing, see, without actual solving, if you know all the concepts, okay, then definitely it gets you will look at the correct points, correct concepts. Okay, like when you have a lot of points in your brain, then definitely by reading the question you will come to understand that okay, this is where I should go. Like for example, you see, like I'm teaching thermodynamics for example. Okay, if I start reading a question like this, a Carnot cycle having source temperature of this, sink temperature of this, when I start reading this sequence, I'll understand okay, my mind should go to Carnot cycle, and then we'll look at the story of Carnot cycle. Similarly, when I read this question, you know it's eigenvalues question, then we'll have to do this. Okay, by looking at this question directly, you'll write this first step. Okay, then this point is a bit important. If some of you want to, if some of you in fact don't know this point, you can just write this number of non-zero eigenvalues. Okay, you can do this. Chalo, 4 is the answer for that question. In 2021, 2 marks. A slight lengthy question, but it's okay. Still we can manage. So let's solve. Let C1 be the line segment from 0, 1 to 4 by 5, minus 3, 4 by 5, 3 by 5. Let C2 be the arc of the circle x square plus y square equal to 1 from same point, between same points. If alpha is integration of this function about C1 and beta is integration of this function about C2, where this position vector is xi plus yj, then the value of alpha square plus beta square is what we have. In maths, we deal with only continuous functions because in real life all the phenomena are continuous. No, Who told you all the phenomena are continuous? Math is continuous and physical phenomena, but there are discontinuous functions a lot. Which branch are you from? Raghavendra, yeah. Which branch are you from? Normally, just out of curiosity, I'm asking. Because you told everything is continuous, physical phenomena are continuous. So, may I know? Mechanical, oh, same family, okay. A converging nozzle, okay. Fluid is flowing. Reached the supersonic condition. You have diverging section, further accelerating. Then there comes something here. You know what is this? What is this that comes here? You have reached the sonic limit, and in the supersonic condition you are still accelerating the flow, then and the back pressure is small, but not very small, it's considerably equal. You get shock, correct? So this is a shock wave. So when you have a shock wave, is the velocity here and here continuous? Anything, pressure, temperature, downstream the shock and upstream the shock, and shock is of very narrow area, so it happens over a very small domain. So are they continuous here? Parameters, velocity, pressure, temperature, you take whatever. No, not continuous. Okay, you draw SFD, BMD, civil guys. Let's say if you have a load like this, say 50, 30, something like this, then if you draw a shear force diagram here, for example, okay, so 50, 30, so the reaction 20, of course, okay. So at this point, exactly like this section, the shear force acting on the beam is not continuous. You see, in the right limit it's 50, in the left limit it's 20, okay. So therefore there are a lot of places where you encounter sudden changes in the things, okay. And if you are trying to solve this analysis using differential equations and all, at these locations you will split the equations, okay. So it's not like always the physical phenomena is continuous, okay. Fine. So let's solve this question. So let C1 be the line segment from 0, 1 to 4 by 5, 3 by 5. Okay. So first let us so this is C1. Okay, so that's C1, of course. Then let's see C2 is something like this. Okay, so this is C2. There is a circular arc so that it would end at 1, 0 maybe. Okay, so there is a circular arc like that, C1 and C2. So now you have to integrate this equation. Alpha is this integral and beta is that integral. So let's see. If you consider, let alpha integral over C1, the vector function you have is 2x by y I cap plus 1 minus x square by y, correct? No, 1 minus x square by y square, yeah, j cap dr, which is nothing but dx I cap plus dy j cap. Okay, so this is along C1, means you are integrating this vector point function from this point to this point. Let's call this point as A and this point as B. Then in case of alpha, you are evaluating it along C1. Okay, so when you evaluate it along C1, we have known one point, that if this vector point function is irrotational, okay, means conservative field, then the integration is independent of the path. You know this point, like if f bar, like for example gravitational force is a conservative field, like if I displace this object from here to, let's say, this point, if I lift it slightly or if I move it in a random path and if I bring it here, still the amount of change in potential energy is same. Okay, so basically the work done remains the same. Okay, so let's check this condition. Considering, if you call this as F and this is dr, considering curl f is equal to ijk dou by dou x dou by dou y dou by dou z 0 1 minus x square by y square 2x by y. Okay, so this gives you k times of c, because I times of dou by dou y of this dou by dou z of this 0 minus j times of dou by dou z dou 0 by dou x and dou 2x by dou z is again 0. So k times of dou by dou x of this minus 2x by y square minus dou by dou y of this is 2x by minus y square. So this complete thing gets cancelled and you have 0. Okay, which means this integration is path independent. If for example if you have a circular path in case, then can someone tell me, if you have a conservative field and along a closed path you are integrating that path, then can someone tell me what would be this answer if f bar is irrotational field or conservative field, whatever? Anyone? It's not solenoid. Okay, it's conservative or irrotational field. Solenoid is basically the incompressible flow field. Okay, so this value would be 0 in that case. Clear? So this would be a 0 if this f bar is irrotational field. Okay, then anyway here the path is not independent. So one thing you know is, as of now, so since del cos f is 0, this implies alpha would be same as beta. So alpha square plus beta square is equal to 2 times of alpha square or 2 times of beta square, whatever. Okay, now so let's see, you can calculate either this or this, but since C2 is a circle, I think things would be slightly easier on a slightly easier side. So consider beta for example, or you can do alpha also, doesn't matter. So consider, okay, let us consider the straight line because it's a linear form and this is a quadratic form, so definitely linear form would be easy. So consider line segment C1. So what is the equation of C1? Along C1, y minus y1 is equal to y2 minus y1, 3 by 5 minus 1 minus 2 by 5 by x2 minus x1, 4 by 5 into x minus x1. So this is what you get. So 2, so y is equal to 1 minus x by 2. Okay, so y is equal to 1 minus x by 2 is the equation. So wherever you find y, you can put 1 minus x by 2 actually. Okay, or else C2 if you see, okay, let's go with C2 because this fractions I think it could create some hecticness. Since C2 is x square plus y square is equal to 1 along the circle, so and that too we are in the first quadrant because points are from 0, 1 to this side, so y is root of 1 minus x square. Okay, so let's go by this because the linear equation is getting into fractions and all, which could create some issue. So therefore beta is equal to integral O to A, or sorry, A to B 2x by y dx plus 1 minus x square by y square dy along this path. Okay, so along that path, you know something, along this path C2. Okay, so along C2 x square plus y square is equal to 1. So this implies y square is equal to 1 minus x square, and this implies 2y dy is equal to minus 2x dx. Okay, so you can substitute here. So if you start substituting, then what you can get is this 1 minus x square and y square, they get cancelled. Okay, so because along this path 1 minus x square anyway can be written as y square, and 2x by this is root of 1 minus x square. So therefore beta is equal to x is equal to 0 to x is equal to 4 by 5. Okay, so because you are going from integration 0 to 4 by 5 comma 3 by 5, 2x by y, so 2x by root of 1 minus x square dx plus 1 minus x square by y square, so this is also y square, so y square and y square gets cancelled, you will have 1 minus 2x by minus 2x. Okay, because you can see this is 1 in this along this C2, so this term along this C2 is 1, and dy is minus 2x, okay, 2 gets cancelled again. So minus x by y, x by minus x by y. So what is y actually? Root of 1 minus x square dx. So this would be the integration actually, okay, because along that path 1 minus y square can be written as x square and y can be written as root of 1 minus x square and dy can be written as minus x by y dx and y can be written as root of 1 minus x square. So if you integrate this, so this value is nothing but 0 to 4 by 5, okay, 2x minus x, so x by root of 1 minus x square dx. Let's do something. So minus 2, then minus 1 by 2, okay. So let's do this so that you have an advantage. Minus 1 by 2 into, okay, or else you can write this as minus integral x is equal to 0 to 4 by 5 minus 2x, or you can write this maybe as 1 by 2 root of 1 minus x square into minus 2x dx. This is what you get, okay. And this integration value is nothing but minus of, okay, so minus of root of 1 minus x square between the limits 0 to 4 by 5. That's all, okay. So this gives you minus root of 1 minus 16 by 25 is 3 by 5 minus 1, when you put x equal to 0 this value is 1, so 2 by 5 which is 0.4. That's what, okay. So that's the answer. In fact it's not a lengthy question, you can see once. In fact you can check dou by dou dou m by dou y of this is same as dou n by dou x. This is m dx plus n dy. If you take dou m by dou y means the derivative of this with respect to y and the derivative of x with respect to derivative of this function with respect to x, if you see then both of them are equal, okay. So which means you'll come to know this point, alpha is equal to beta. You'll reach this here, no need to do all this stuff. Then you should calculate beta, which is this part, okay. So therefore beta is equal to alpha is equal to 0.4. So alpha square plus beta square is equal to 2 times of beta square, let's say. So 2 times of 0.16 which is 0.32, okay. So that's the answer. 0.32 is the correct answer in this case, because if you try to calculate alpha then it would be very lengthy question then again, okay. So that's why first thing you should figure out in this question is alpha and beta are same. So if you know that alpha and beta are same, then it's a comparatively small question, okay. So is this okay to all? Yeah. So can you all understand that alpha beta values are same and this alpha square plus beta square is 0.32 is the value. Yeah, 0.32 is the actual answer. It's a 2 marks question obviously. So tell me any doubts in this question or it's okay? Can you all understand this question? No, yes, something. Did you all understand along that path what's happening? How did I connect y and x and converted the 2 variable integration to single variable integration? Yes. If you have any doubts, please ask me. See, if I want to solve, I can solve these questions directly, okay, but I want you to understand everything, so we are doing in a detailed way. Can you solve for MDX methods? What is MDX? MDX. What is MDX method? Hopefully easy, I hope, for an easy questions, okay. Can you solve for MDX methods? MDX plus NDY, but you can apply MDX plus NDY only when you have a closed path, okay. like you can apply the Gain's theorem only when the path is closed. But here this beta is the evaluation of the integral from one point to another point along the curve. That's not a closed path. Okay, so yeah, that's what I was telling. So you can apply Gain's theorem only if the path is closed. But here beta C2 path is not closed path. Okay. In fact, if you can see, if you change the direction of C2, okay, if you change the direction of C2, then this becomes minus beta. Okay, this becomes minus beta. Then this will form a completely closed loop if you change the direction of C2. Okay, then alpha plus minus beta is equal to 0. So alpha equal to beta is what you'll know, which is the same thing here. Okay, but to apply the Gain's theorem, you should have a completely full closed loop. Chalo, 1-2 more questions we'll solve today. 2020 XE, Newton-Raphson method. Let x0, x1, x2 and so on be the sequence generated by the Newton-Raphson method applied to the function f of x is equal to x cube minus 2x plus 2 with x0 is equal to 1. Okay, then the sequence. So what happens to the sequence? The sequence converges to 0, means once you start getting 0, then all the next iteration values are zeros. Becomes bounded in the sense like you will have some closed value, like for example the values will not converge but the decimals only keep changing. You will have the finite value. Okay, converges to a root of f of x, obviously, which we generally see in many cases, does not converge. Okay, by looking at these things you can understand, you can eliminate these two. Okay, I have completed potential flows from Vijay batch. Yeah, okay, in Vijay batch I have taught everything that's necessary. Okay, so chalo, let's see. So Newton-Raphson scheme is x n plus 1 xn minus f of xn by f dash of xn, correct? Can you confirm this is dash by this or this by dash, means the function by derivative or derivative by function? Is this correct? How many of you get confused when you're writing Newton-Raphson method? Tell me. How many of you get confused when you write Newton-Raphson method? Honestly. This is correct, sir. Of course, I know this is correct, man. But generally, how many of you get confused when you write this? You know dimensional analysis, no? Let's see, if you have x here, this term should also have the dimension of x. Okay, but derivative is always one polynomial less than the actual function. So function should be on the top and derivative should come down. You have to answer, no? Okay, good. Sarcasm, obviously, my student know, so I would have transferred some sarcasm to Mahavir guy. Chalo, let's see. So one fundamental point is here, this f of xn and f dash of xn is what you have. So the degree of this derivative is always 1 less than the actual function. Like if you take a cubic function, then the derivative is quadratic. Okay, so like that. So if these two has the dimensions of x, this should also have the dimension of x. So the higher degree should be on the top. Okay, or else you can just derive this very simply. X n plus 1 is equal to xn plus, let's say the difference is h, for example. Okay, so after large number of iterations, this f of xn plus 1 will be almost 0, correct? Because you will reach very close to the exact root if the convergence criteria exist. Okay, so then this can be written as f of xn plus h is equal to 0. So if you apply Taylor's series to the linear approximation, h into f dash of xn is equal to 0. So what should be h? F of xn minus f of xn by f dash of xn. Okay, that's how. So if you put this h back here, you get this equation. Okay, fine. So you can see xn plus 1 is equal to xn minus f of xn, which comes from these 2-3 small steps. Okay, you can ask me, who told you to stop at the linear truncation? Means basically, why have you taken only up to h? Why did you not take h square by 2 factorial into f double dash of xn? All this stuff. Because after certain time of iterations, this h would be very small. The difference between xn and xn plus 1 would be small. Okay, very small. So h square much small, divided by 2 factorial much small, so all the higher order terms would be negligible. Okay, so that's how this Newton-Raphson technique iteration scheme is the linear cutoff or the linear truncation of the Taylor series. Okay, so then xn plus 1 is equal to xn minus f of xn. So f dash of xn is the xn square minus 2. So you can simplify this, 3 xn cube minus xn cube, so 2 xn cube minus 2 xn plus 2 xn, so minus 2 by 3 xn square minus 2. Now let's see if you have this iteration scheme finally, the Newton-Raphson method. So this is the final Newton-Raphson scheme which you have. Then why to find error again? Because this is not perfectly 0. Okay, there is definitely some small change. Okay, the change is such that the higher degree of that is very small, but not the h by itself. Okay, so that's right. Answer is coming option A. Anyway, let's see. So first, if you start with initial guess, three xn square minus 2. Okay, so let's see for x naught. So what is the initial guess you are starting with? X naught is 1. Okay, for x naught is equal to 1, x1 is equal to, if you put x naught equal to 1, 2 minus 2 0 by 3 minus 2 3 minus 2 is 1, so 0 by 1 is 0. So for x1 is equal to 0, this implies x2 is equal to, if you put 0 here, minus 2 by minus 2, it is 1. So again, if you put x2 is equal to 1, x3 is 0. Is it converging? Tell me. Is it converging? Yes, is it converging? Are you able to find out of this equation using this technique? If you put 0 here, answer is 2. Okay, if you put 1 here, answer is 1. In both the cases, it's not out. Okay, so neither this nor this is out. Clear? So you can see this scheme doesn't converge, but bounded between 0 and 1. Okay, so it doesn't converge, but it's bounded. Okay, so it's bounded actually. So converge to 0 is wrong, converges to out, wrong, does not converge becomes unbounded. No, unbounded is wrong, it has bounded but it does not converge. Okay, the Newton-Raphson technique is one of the highest or the basically used techniques even till today, because it has the highest rate of convergence, quadratic convergence. Okay, rest all secant methods you have only 1.62, then bisection all these guys has only 1 order of convergence. Okay, but Newton-Raphson has 2 order of rate of convergence as 2, which means whatever, let's say if some bisection method takes 7 to 8 iterations, you will end up with 1 to 2 iterations in Newton-Raphson method. Okay, that's the power. So does not converge. Okay, we'll solve this last question before we leave today, because I think last 15 minutes. Okay, so again 2020 2 marks question. Solution. Okay, so x is a random variable with probability density function f of t. So given f of t is equal to e power minus t if t is positive and 0 if t is negative. Okay, so probability of x less than or equal to b given x is greater than or equal to a and a is less than b, of course. Okay, it's given 0 less than, a less than b, so a, b are positive but a is less than b actually. Okay, so then in this case, if you see, if you look at the definition of the conditional probability, so if you find x1, it is coming 0, 2, but that doesn't mean a out, right? See, when do you define a out? When when you do an iteration, you get some value. Using this iterate value, you do the next iteration, then also you'll get the same value. Then you say that the out is logged, correct? Like let's say if you look at the iteration values, you got 2.54, 2.537, 2.537 like this. Then at this point the out got logged, okay? Then you will say that this is the out. But if the value is fluctuating continuously, then obviously it's not converging, okay? In this step you got 0, okay, fine. But next, if you again do the iteration, you'll get 1, okay? Then thinking that next iteration will be again 1. If you do iteration using 1, you're again getting 0. So it's not converging like this, okay? Clear, Sharma? Only the first iteration is giving 0, but the second iteration is not giving 0 again. It's shifting. Explain convergence and divergence concept. Where? In which question? Second last. Here or here? Dawal Chauhan, sorry, yeah. Second last question. This question, you mean this? Convergence is this, okay? So sorry, this is convergence, okay? Divergence, so the iteration values keeps moving in one direction. Again, in divergence you have unidirectional divergence or bidirectional divergences depending on the specific type of functions, but that's convergence, this part where the iterate values keep getting logged to one value, and this is divergence, okay? Okay. Chalo. So like if you see probability of A given B, this is probability of A intersection B upon P of B actually, correct? Now let's see, if you use this definition of conditional probability, this is probability of x less than or equal to B intersection x greater than or equal to A divided by P of x greater than or equal to A, correct? Now x less than or equal to B and x greater than or equal to A is nothing but probability of A less than or equal to x less than or equal to B by this, correct? So you have the PDF and you need to calculate the probabilities, that's all, okay? So how would you do this? Correct now? So this gives you integral a to b, this function e power minus t dt, and this is a to infinity because time can go up to infinity, so e power minus t dt, that's all. So this integration is e power minus b minus e power minus a by minus 1 by here minus 1 e power minus infinity, so which is e power minus infinity minus e power minus a, that's what you have if you do this integrations. So this is 0, so if you use this minus, we get e power minus a minus e power minus b by e power minus a, that's all, okay? So 1 minus e power minus of b minus a, yeah, that's the correct answer, okay? So therefore this probability is this, okay? So this is the value 1 minus e power of minus b minus a, so then the probability depends only on b minus a, okay? It doesn't depend only on b, it doesn't depend only on a, it depends actually on the difference of this b minus a actually, okay? Fine. Is this clear to all of you? So it depends on B minus A, of course. Okay. So maybe we'll put a hold to today's class till here, because I think a lot of points again you cannot take in at a single day. So we'll stop here for today. Anyhow, only 8 minutes is left. Meanwhile, if you have any doubts, you can ask me, or else tomorrow again at 2 p.m. Sandeep sir will start fluid mechanics XCB second session, and again at 7 p.m. I will come for the maths. Okay, for the solving of more PYQs. But in tomorrow's class, we'll involve questions of sequence and series. Okay, then some nice questions of partial differential equations where you'll solve wave equations, heat equations. So these things we'll see. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Okay. I made the full PPT, but it's okay. So again, tomorrow at 7 p.m. we have the class. Okay. Like 2 p.m. we have the maths class, and 7 p.m. we have the this schedule basically. So tomorrow, 5th February, you have fluid mechanics by Sandeep sir, and then maths again I'll take. Okay. And this is the complete schedule for this week, and the next week we'll have some Abhyas sessions, so we practice some good questions. Okay. Fine. Yeah. And this is the Telegram channel. If some of you wish to get things there, you can join, scan this QR code, it will take you to that channel. So there are almost some 2,500 plus guys who keep busy in GATE and all the other exams. You can join them. Okay. One important slide is also there, so which I have to display. Where is this? Yeah. Okay. So take care. We'll meet. Notes I'll send in the Telegram channel. Okay. And also you can find it in the links which are given in this description. Or else, yeah. Okay. Fine. I sealed out. Actually have done complete maths, but since XC maths is slightly a bit higher than ME, so is it okay to practice all the sessions for enough understanding, which will be done by you? Yeah, good. Please answer me. What is your question, Preeti? I can see only one message from you on this chart. Let me scroll the chat box in case you asked some question and I missed it. Sorry, I cannot see any other question. Can you please retype your question if you have something to ask me? If anyone has anything to ask me, you can ask. Okay. No doubts. Okay. Okay, Preeti, you can ask me in the Telegram channel. Okay, because you have the link now. Okay, so then we'll meet. I'll meet you at 7 p.m. tomorrow. Before that, Sandeep sir will meet you at 2 p.m. Okay. Thank you all. So do attend these sessions continuously. Okay, because of some reasons, because this time ME paper is easy actually. Okay, so whatever the ranks you got for a given set of marks last year, this time rank may be slightly behind. Okay, so that's why better focus on XC well. Okay, if your focus is like XC, IITs and all. Thank you. Take care. Bye. Good night.